FM and HD Austin. Austin's home for sports. 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox are beaten by Oakland last night at Fenway Park, 5-2. Nick Pivetta tied the team record by striking out 8 consecutive hitters, but he also allowed 4 runs as Alex Cora's team took a rare step back.
We put pressure on them towards the end. We had the big guy with the bases loaded, so I like the effort, obviously. It just didn't happen tonight.
Rob Refsnyder also homered in the loss for the Sox. The third and final game of this series will be tonight with first-time All-Star Tanner Houck getting the start. The trade deadline is less than 3 weeks away. Sox surprisingly in the hunt for a postseason spot. Sam Kennedy said yesterday his team will take on salary if the trade is right. In basketball news, the U.S. Olympic team began its 5-game run-up to the Summer Games with an 86-72 win over Canada in Las Vegas. Anthony Edwards, 13 points off the bench for the winners. The Celtics' Drew Holiday started for the U.S. He scored 11 points. Jason Tatum had 8 off the bench. The next exhibition game is against Australia in Abu Dhabi on Monday. USA Basketball also added the Celtics' Derek White to the roster yesterday. He replaced the injured Kawhi Leonard. Kevin Durant didn't play last night. He's expected to miss at least the next couple of games as well with a calf strain. And the U.S. men's soccer team fired manager Greg Berhalter yesterday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by IBEW Local 103 and Nika Electrical Contractors. For over 50 years, they've been powering the TD Garden, making sure it stays lit, safe, and ready for every game. Learn more at thepowerprofessionals.org. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Get
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5, the Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Fred, hello. Hello. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Open him up with a football.
98.5. The Hub.
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers. Yes. Na 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 na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
Everybody, good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy. Town Fair Tire Studios. You can call us 617-779-0985. You can, we're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 985thesportshub.com and join the many, many people having conversations about many, many things on YouTube. There's a lot of them, and they're all wonderful. And Hardy's on there, and he says hello.
I'm going to say hello right now. Thank you for inspiring me, Fred.
And I found out yesterday that people, that men and women are on there, and they're connecting. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Community of sharing and caring.
Yes, indeed. It's and it's not always about the show. So if you're bored with the show, you can go on there, and then there's people having conversations among themselves. We told one of the great things about it being Hardy's first year is there's Hardy's first experiences with things. And today, when I sat down, and then I saw that you had put this in Slack, John. But it was even before I saw that. I saw that when we sat down, I have a show sheet I've been using since before I came to Boston, and I write the date in the top. I guess it's just OCD now because I just throw it away every day. But it's July 11th, 7/11. Yep. And so that, of course, means it is Dan Roach's birthday. Mm-hmm. And the reason I know that and have to carry a keychain with my kids' birthdays on it, I do have like little things on my keychain that I was given when they were born that have their birthdays on it, and I have had to look at them before. I know the year because I know how old they are, and I know the month, but sometimes the date gets a little wonky for me, like the actual day. My daughter's birthday was yesterday, and I remember. But today's 7/11, and we know it's Dan Roach's birthday because Dan Roach was not bragging, but telling like a folksy tale. Dan went through this period on the show where he would come on and he would say about how he would, have conversations around town, like conversations at the gas station, conversations at the Dunkin'.
He's everybody's friend.
He's in like a walking club. Wasn't he in a walking club, or am I making that up?
I thought it was a workout club. I thought he would go to the gym with a bunch of people, and they'd all work out together at like 6 in the morning.
I do. Okay, so I don't think that's what it is. I do think that he walked with people.
Okay.
I think that it was a walking club. Because I would have been like, you went to the gym with people? No, it was walking then.
Okay.
If we're remembering that, then it was definitely walking. And so the whole thing would be like, so-and-so said this to me, so-and-so said that to me. I actually texted him this morning, and the reason I know it's his birthday is because he told the story about, and as a matter of fact, I went to 7-Eleven last on my birthday, and they gave me a free Slurpee, and just because it was my birthday, and then it wasn't me, but it might have been, I don't know who it was, but someone on the show said, when's your birthday? And he said, it's July 11th. And then someone did the thing in their mind and said, you mean 7-Eleven? And they knew 7-Eleven gives Slurpees out for free, or they did at the time to everyone on 7-Eleven. Mm-hmm. And then Roach said, Roach just texted me, it's a walking club. Okay. Roach said, it wasn't a workout club. I would have remembered that.
All right.
And then he's like, the guy gave me a free Slurpee, and then it was brought to his attention that everyone gets a free Slurpee, and then we had the conversation of, did you ever show the guy your ID? And he was like, no. Like, were you buying like alcohol? Like, and he asked for your ID, and he's like, no. And we're like, well, how would he know it was your birthday? And he's like,
ruined his day.
And then, it was a great moment because Dan's, it was so easy to ruin his illusions.
Crushed the all positive day for him.
Because, he has like obviously a community where everyone like talks and they like get together in the mornings and the neighborhood talks to each other, which is, I guess, suppose what you want. But he tried to take it too far with the 7-Eleven thing.
Yeah, you put the kibosh on that immediately. But stepped right on it.
I texted him before 6, happy birthday, and he got back to me. He was up.
Mm-hmm.
So a happy birthday to Dan, and I will never, ever forget your birthday for as long as I live, until I get Alzheimer's. And I still might remember it. Might be the last thing I ever say. Dan's an idiot. He thought they were giving him a Slurpee because it was his birthday. But there you have it. 7-Eleven.
Happy birthday, Roachie.
Happy birthday to the great Dan Roach.
A walking club.
A walking club. They get together and walk.
Probably at different places. Oh, today we're going to walk around the reservoir in Brookline.
No, I believe it's. If I had to guess again, it would be the exact same route. And I'm sure Dan's going to text me and go, it is the same route every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say there's very little that changes.
I mean, why would you get in the car and drive somewhere to walk?
No.
It's around the neighborhood.
Why would you be in a walking club? You want to go for a walk? That's the great thing about going for a walk. You don't need to join a club. You don't need a membership. You don't even need shoes. You could do it barefoot.
This is instead of poker, man. You just get together. Bros being bros.
Yeah, just early in the morning, having some fun. Yeah, Dan's in that walking club. What the hell was I just going to say? I was going to transition into something else. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, boy. Danny.
What's he telling you?
I don't know. He said it's a walking club is all I know. Is that he's in a walking club.
Okay.
What the hell was I going to say? I had something else lined up.
Was it Dan Roach related? Was it club related? Last thing before you die.
No, it wasn't last thing before I die. Maybe it was club related. I can't remember what it was. I can't.
How much Andy Wong really likes you? Is that possible?
Anyone to know me, but Andy Wong sent me a big box because I went to the Loon, and when I went, because my son had a game in Saugus after he had a game at Curry College, which is south of the city.
Direction, the other
same
side
day.
of the city.
So So then we went up to Saugus, and it was his mother, his sister, because his sister came because of the promise of the Loon.
Mm-hmm.
And for the second time in my life, I went to Kowloon. But when you go to Kowloon, you text Joe Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted Joe Murray and I said, hey, sorry to bother you, but could you tell Andy or tell someone at the Loon that I'm coming in so I can get a table? And I told you guys the story. And Andy Wong was at the host stand. He just happened to be there. It was the first time I ever met Andy Wong, but it was very busy, as it always is. And they sat us down, and I got a free meal, and I stiffed the waitress and everything else I told you.
Nice.
Yeah. Not a dime, baby.
Now I knew that.
Is this free or is this free? But Andy, I guess, felt bad because we had left by the time he got back to the table. And because we dined and dashed. Maybe the meal wasn't free. But Andy felt bad. So Andy had asked Joe. Joe is a conduit to all this stuff. Asked Joe for my kids' sizes and my sizes. And then I got a very large box.
So I knew the box was here waiting for you because I got a text from Jay Stu last night.
Oh.
With a photo of the box sitting on his chair in the control room.
Yeah.
And it said, package from Kowloon for Fred. No punctuation. I said, oh, I'm sure he'll open it up, look at it, and leave it there until somebody takes it for themselves or throws it away, which is kind of your MO for things sent to you at the radio station.
Sure.
He gave back the wide-eyed emoji, which I didn't know what that meant. And then I realized, oh, he thought he would have some Kowloon gear for himself. So I quickly leaned into that and said, hey, whatever he leaves, you and I will split. Noted. Or Nick will steal. I almost crashed my car laughing when Fred had yelled at Nick to screen a phone call because a woman was calling.
Yeah.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. Maybe it was Major Guns calling in to say, hi, I'm coming back to the Attitude Era.
No.
But there you have it.
So you got a bit. Now, you didn't even dig through the box yet. You haven't properly rifled through that box. I guarantee there's some of those tiki.
There are small boxes within the box.
Boxes
So I'm
in
guessing
there.
that those are they're tikis.
The
Now,
tiki glasses.
these lead me to Vincent Price? Will I go to a cave and have to leave a trail of popcorn? And will my parents have to come rescue me? And when they find I've been tied up and kidnapped by Vincent Price, Vincent Price will calmly explain to them what's going on, and then I'll just go, okay.
Yeah, make friends with him. Yeah, that's what.
Will there be a tarantula on my chest? Will I crash on a 1 foot wave when I'm surfing in Hawaii, where there is the North Shore, where there are like 30-foot swells? Greg crashes on like a 2 foot wave.
Wasn't he in that was a surfing competition?
Well, okay, I don't remember.
No, well,
Yeah, that's the taboo episode of the Brady Bunch.
yeah, but I think he was out there surfing because it was part of a contest. Maybe someone spotted him and said, "Hey, for a haole, you're not bad on the
It was a North Shore situation.
longboard, Barney.
Yeah,
why don't you get out here and
You're a kid from a wave pool in Arizona.
compete with some of the locals?"
You have to learn how to soul surf before you get out there. But if it was a surfing competition, they go like, let's go to the lamest beach in Hawaii and really carve up these little ripples.
Let's find the flat one.
Yeah, let's do it in a river.
Find the flat beach in a cove.
I remember Vincent Price eating beans off of like a metal plate, like a camping plate. Do you remember that tiny little detail aspect of that?
Yes, because there were beans featured several times in the later seasons of the Brady Bunch. You'll recall when Bobby and Cindy took off into Grand Canyon and they had packed a flashlight with pork and beans. And then they met the Native American tribe, and they said, "Come to our powwow." Right. It's, as you kids say, a groovy time.
Yeah, and then they did peyote, and Cindy got very sick.
Yeah, they did. It was an early. I don't know if it was ayahuasca or an early form of. If it was peyote or an early form of ayahuasca.
Yeah, and they couldn't find Bobby. It turned out he was in a sweat lodge, and
he was coming to grips with what his aunt did to him. Crying and vomiting. Which is what I'm told happens when you go to one of those ayahuasca retreats. You remember a relative did something very bad to you. All right. Hardy, there are some things that happen in the world of sport.
Pray tell.
Well, the U.S. Olympic thing.
That's bad.
Oh, yeah, the Olympic thing happened yesterday. Some developments, I mean, we could mention it. It is, after all, July 11th, so not a lot else going on. Something that happened with the Copa America tournament and the U.S. National soccer team.
Oh, sure.
So, that actually happened. So things happen. There was, of course, a big golf tournament in Framingham, Mass yesterday that
Jesus.
continues
Oh, you
today.
get out there, you go walk the course.
I did.
Look at you.
So, yeah, plenty of things happened last night.
You are really. What are they giving you in Framingham? One could only imagine a free Slurpee.
Nothing. Nothing. Not a thing. It is
Gift
for
certificate to Jack's Abbey, perhaps?
love of the game. I was there yesterday, and it was the fiercest of competitions.
In fairness, I went to ESPN.com and it's on the front page. Mass amateur.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to give it to you. It goes
link.
Team USA.
The link right to the leaderboard.
Without spilling any of the really good stuff, those guys yesterday at the start of match play played 2 rounds, and everybody walks. Some guys carry their own clubs.
Oh, my God.
Others have their, push carts. Some have caddies. But let me tell you something. Were you outside at all in the middle of the day yesterday?
Yes, I was.
Real warm.
Yeah.
And that course,
Humid.
hilly. You need a Sherpa just to get up to the
Yeah.
green on the first hole.
Yeah.
So these guys, if you were good enough to win your first match, and I don't know, maybe get off the course around noon, 12:30, get ready. You're going out again here right away. Go play 18 more.
Say hi to your neighbor.
I followed him for his last 6 holes.
What a feat of athleticism. It really is.
I was
that
gonna
they were
ask.
out there.
I was going to ask if your neighbor advanced, but I know that would
No,
ruin the whole thing.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
wanna-
You
I
can't.
don't want to.
You
wreck
can't.
the tees.
Yeah, well, you already kind of did.
Yeah.
I mean, he was subtly making people go, is he going to say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just tuning in to see if he was going to mention it.
Yeah. It's true.
There
My
you go.
fault.
He actually collected audio from there yesterday. We're going to be talking to the groundskeeper from the Framingham Country Club.
I did speak with a couple of guys who were assistant supers. I didn't get a chance to chinwag with the superintendent, but a couple of guys I was walking up, they recognized me, big fans, no big whoop. And I talked to those guys, and we talked about course conditions and
How much of this is
stuff.
going to be played on Sunday morning?
None of it. I
Sports
didn't.
Hub Golf Club.
I didn't
No.
record any of it. This was
Oh.
my personal time.
Yeah. This isn't. He can't bastardize these relationships by taping all of them.
Right.
Especially when there's nothing to be offered. You got to have a couple hats if you want Hardy to talk to you.
Sure.
I mean, they don't come for free. I mean, you got to at least resole his or put some insoles in his golf shoes.
Yep.
If you want him talking to you
Gotta
on
make
air.
Make sure the foot joys are looking fresh.
Yeah, I mean, but when he comes up, people do go golf show.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah. Don't make a fuss.
That's right. I'm here.
Don't.
It's fine.
Don't.
No special.
2 at a time.
Yeah, it's
Let's
fine.
not raise attention.
I won't
This
charge
is
you.
about the people on the course,
I won't charge you this time.
not about who's in the gallery.
Yeah. Right.
And then the guys playing were like, "Oh, I had a 5-foot putt," but then I saw Hardy was watching, and it was almost unfair because I was trying to impress him, and then I got the yips. They called the hips when Hardy's
the
in the
Hardy
town.
yips.
Yep,
Got the hips.
they're called the hips when Hardy's in the crowd. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way.
you catch the game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what's going on?
Red Sox took on the Oakland Athletics again last night at Fenway Park as their series continues. Oakland A's, we know, stink. Some would say 24 games below 500 with a record of 35-59. But you know what I would say, Fred? They're 12 games below 500. Because if you're going to give them 12 wins, you have to take away 12 losses. And it's I had a long time thinking about this in the car yesterday. Because the Red Sox were being described as 10 games above 500. I said, it's really 5. Because if you take away 5 wins, then you add 5 losses. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you're 50-40, it's not 10. It's 5 games above 500. The amount still has to equal 90.
I got you.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
Congratulations. How much time did you waste?
Well, I was a long time in the car. Okay. The A's stink real bad, and the Red Sox could not manage a second straight win over them. They lost 5-2 last night. Alex Cora, what happened?
We put pressure on them towards the end. We had the big guy with the bases loaded, so I like the effort, obviously. It just didn't happen tonight.
No, it did not happen. But, you take your victories where you can find them. And Nick Pivetta spoke about the striking out of 8 consecutive batters.
Yeah, it's good. I'm always grateful to be in that position and to be able to do things like that. It's good. Yeah, it's always good.
Did you watch the game last night, Wallach?
I did.
Yeah.
I did watch some of that game last night.
Why don't you tell me what happened in the third inning last night?
They allowed 3 runs in the third inning. I did not see the third inning.
Were you
I
lying to me
game,
then, or are you lying to me?
John, what is it about you that Dan O'Brien says that you'll leave the house for hours at a time without your phone?
What do you mean?
He said that he texted you about getting a Celtics guest and that you got back to him at 10:30 at night and you said, "I'm sorry, I was at my son's soccer game." But you would think that at the soccer game you would be glued to the phone.
I accidentally left my phone at home. It wasn't intentional.
You are truly old. Like that is really like something that my parents do.
Like my phone at home. It was an accident. I usually don't.
No,
I didn't go back and get it.
Yeah,
no, I didn't realize it didn't happen until I showed up.
Yeah, but that that is something that is most people under the age of 60 don't do.
So,
and I know you're kissing 60.
Jesus, Dan, I really didn't realize it was going to piss you off to that extent.
It doesn't
I'll staple it to my thigh the next time.
No, right to that.
I know.
Right there.
It's an example of gaslighting.
Thank you.
I would imagine.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's like changing the subject, kind of pushing back with like stuff that's not on the point.
I still don't know what it means, but I think I'm starting to get it.
Okay. I would imagine that's gaslighting because John's going like, I didn't know it was going to upset you so much. Like, you're the problem. Like, you're so upset. Like, what are you, crazy?
Obviously,
like, you're upset.
I'm the problem. I didn't respond in a quick enough time.
This is martyr talk.
It's not, right. Now it's martyrdom.
Now it's martyrdom.
It's gone from gaslighting to martyrdom.
You know, you're on to me.
Nick,
you guys can't. I can't make
now
a move.
It's sarcastic martyring. It really is a character defect.
Nick had the best point about this, about John leaving the house. He goes, "That's dangerous at his age. Leaving the house without his phone? Should have some kind of a tracker on him or something."
Yeah, I know.
Life alert bracelet, something around.
Wouldn't you think that's what murderers do?
I'm
is
driving
that they get
I left my phone at home.
They get well, first of all, he uses a Rand McNally map to get wherever he's going.
I was going to say a Magellan.
Yeah.
Tom.
Oh, Magellan. That's a little fancy. A Magellan, I mean, that's digital. I'm saying he's just got a book of maps in the back, like my parents do. My parents literally...
They still have maps in the car?
In the back pocket of my mom's car, there's a Rand McNally, one of the big books.
Like a triptych.
Yeah.
Well, the triptych. No, I use triptychs, man. Triptychs were the balls. Those things were
really
cool.
You go to AAA and you pick where you headed.
That's their trailer hitch is a nice set of balls. Is that my mom has bronze balls as a trailer hitch on her car. But John leaves his car, and that's something I believe that killers would do, is create a pattern of leaving their phone at home because the phone pings wherever you go. If you don't know this, if you never saw the mayor of Easttown, your phone pings. Like, so even if you're not using it or calling, it pings off the local cell phone towers, so it's always tracking you no matter what you do.
I learned that from the first season of Serial when they were trying to figure out if that guy actually killed that girl. The pinging on the cell towers, yeah.
Was the first season of Serial the guy who got the tattoos? He had ended up getting tattoos on top of tattoos, or was that the second season of Serial?
I don't remember
because
the
one of
tattoo
them
part of it.
was everyone insisted was the greatest thing ever, and then it was. I think you and I talked about this years ago, and the ending was like, huh? Like I listened to all of this just to get to this like convoluted ending.
It's the one where the guy's high school girlfriend is killed and left in the woods, I think outside of Baltimore. And
Okay, yeah, this is not the one then.
Okay.
It might have been the second season of Serial, and there was like a tattoo, and the guy was getting tattoos on top of tattoos. And...
Oh no, that's S-Town.
Oh, S-Town. Okay, so
Right, yeah, that one. It's fascinating and compelling, and when it ends, you're like, oh,
it's Lost.
It's just
It's the show Lost.
so nothing happened.
Yeah, like so. Basically, this is all just a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
I listened to all this for no reason. But anyway, John left his phone at home, and that's his thing, is that he goes out without his phone, and he's engulfed in the soccer game that is going on. Howard, go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to make a slight correction. If a team is 50-40, they are 10 games over 500, because if they turned around and lost 10 in a row, they'd be at 500.
It'd be 50-50. So it'd be right at 500.
It depends if you're referring to the before or the after.
Oh, very good. Gary, go ahead.
Hey, so Fred, the guys, I leave my phone in the house all the time. Like, I go out and mow the lawn, and I leave my phone in the house. When I come home, I put my phone in the key dish. You guys have a key dish?
I do too. When I take a nap, I leave my phone in the kitchen, and by where I leave my keys. So I'm with you there. And if I go out in the yard, I don't necessarily keep my big yard. If I go outside to I don't necessarily bring my phone. But if I'm going in the car and leaving the house, I will go back to the house. I'll realize very quickly I don't have my phone. Like, it would be, I'd realize I didn't have my phone before I realized I didn't have my wallet. I could survive with just my phone because of Apple Pay. So, like, if I left my wallet and conceivably my keys at home, I could get a Lyft. I could pay for things. I could eat. I could get food delivered to me. Like, I could sustain a modern life with my phone. So that would be the first thing I thought about. So, Carrie, I'm with you. My phone's not glued to my hip, but if I leave the house, the phone is with me.
If you leave the property.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, even if I walk the dog, because then I'll use the phone because I'll listen to the radio on the phone, or I'll listen to a book.
I can count on one hand the number of times I have left the house without my phone, and not gone back to get it in. I don't know, since we started carrying phones around. You just say I don't know how you do it, and coming to work you can't. We can't do a lot of stuff that we do here. Can't log onto our computers without our phones.
And also,
all connected.
I'll use the map now, even where I know when I'm going, just to get an estimate of when I'm going to get there.
Traffic.
So I use wherever I go, even places work in the morning. I don't use it on the way home, but on the way here I use it.
Oh.
And I take a deliberately longer route because I want to listen to what happened late at night. So I'll take a deliberately 5-minute longer route here, which I found to be to my benefit. Because if I just jump on 95, I'm here in like 2 seconds, and I feel like I haven't had time to consume any information. So I need that time in the car.
I've stopped using Waze on the way to work, which I did for God knows how many years.
Waze is a fool's errand. Don't use Waze. Waze has screwed me. I will never use Waze. I haven't used Waze in a decade.
What do you use?
I use Google Maps.
Yeah,
and then before that, I used MapQuest.
The map app on my phone is what I use.
Oh, that's not very good.
It's better than Waze.
It's better. Well, Waze completely screws you because Waze nickels and dimes things. Like
I know what you mean.
Well,
by
first of all, where I used to live, it used to send people off of Route 9 and down this residential street, which is not off of Route 9. It's like 3 turns off of Route 9. And it used to send, there would be just waves of cars, and you go, okay, Waze is sending these guys out. And it was to do a circle back to Route 9. Like, it was the dumbest thing. It was just to make a bunch of turns into a neighborhood to get back to Route 9. I was coming back from Storyland one time, or wherever the hell's up in North Conway.
That's it.
But it was the winter, because it was the famous game I'll never forget it was the Rams-Patriots, when I listened to the whole pregame, and it was just Belichick going off about the punter.
Hecker, yes.
And I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
Like, this is so boring.
Right.
And Waze took me off of the freeway in New Hampshire, and I was literally driving like down residential, quaint New Hampshire towns. Like, I was driving like down cul-de-sacs.
Yeah, I wonder if sometimes I've thought about this with Waze, and sometimes obviously it's going to do that so you avoid an accident or destruction. But if sometimes they just if you and I plug in from this point, the exact same destination point, especially at a busy time, if it will give us 2 different routes, because Waze has some algorithm. It's like, we've already sent a few people this way. Now let's send a few people that way, and we're doing our help to start, we're doing our part to spread out the traffic.
Isn't Waze based on Waze, people that use Waze reporting stuff to them?
Some of it.
Yeah, so what loser is telling an app like, oh, there's an accident or there's a police officer here? What moron is doing that?
Yeah, who would do that? Loser. You get Waze points when you do it.
Oh, and what are those worth?
What can you turn them in for?
Bitcoin.
Seriously?
I don't know.
What's a Waze point?
I don't know. Whenever I see something and
oh, Jesus, Hardy.
Not every
Come
time.
on.
Not every time, but if you're stuck, I'm like, oh, I will let people know. It's like, it didn't tell me there's any traffic here, and I'll put, moderate or heavy traffic if we get to a standstill, so other people know. I'm helping people out.
You're a man of the people.
And
Who
it
knew?
gives you a little signal. It's like, you just earned 10 smiles or 10
Oh,
Waze.
good for you. 10 smiles.
10 Wazies.
And then you
oh boy,
it determines your Waze rank, and then Wazers who edit the map also will have an editor rank and an edit count, so you can.
And then what does this get?
The more
you?
times you report the police officer on the right hand side of the road.
Well, then why wouldn't I just report crap? And then if I was going to Maine like Dan, and I would just report a bunch of accidents on my route, and so to hopefully get people off of it.
That's right.
That would be to my advantage. I'd rather get that than smiley faces.
Anything to get there quicker. Yes.
All right.
I'm consulting Wazepedia right now, which is an actual thing.
Yeah, you know that there's a community of people that are collecting these smiles. I mean, I can assure you of that. It's all the algorithm, baby.
But do you get anything for us?
No, but it's still...
You get candies. Bonus candies only appear at road junctions and generally get placed on the road along your current path. So, points rank, editing ranks. I'll really start digging around on this.
You dive into that. All right, we have to break. We'll be right back.
Sports Hub headlines.
We are Toucher and Hardy, and shouts out to Al from SSD Control, one of the legendary hardcore bands in the history of the form of music. They're Boston-based. He's suffering right now, but he's got to. They're going to bring him up on this at this Foo Fighters show. He should do it. Al, do it. And by the way, you said that you saw the Sweatpants Boners. You introduced the Sweatpants Boners, Rich. There was a whole thing going on. Now this is
Hardy. My name is Hardy.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm Hardy. I apologize. Because I'm reading 10 things. This thing is Hardy. Do you know? Are you aware of the band Bim Scala Bim?
I have heard of him. I couldn't tell you a thing about him, but I know the name.
Yeah, it says, "Congrats on the new show. I just need to say straight out, I'm not one of the lizard people. I guess I'll be around if they start popping up. Though Dan and Patrick really, geesh. Anyway, Bim Scala Bim is playing 2 shows Saturday in Davis Square, Somerville at the Crystal Ballroom, in a matinee and an evening show.
Bim Scala Bim's been around for a long time.
Since the early 90s.
Yeah.
And so I am all for it.
I mean, I just know because I know that is not something I came across recently because I don't seek out a lot of new music.
So the Crystal Ballroom in Cambridge, a local legends, Bim Scala Bim, Saturday, 12:30 show where I'll be taking my daughter and her friend, and then a show at 8:30 in the evening for the crazy adults. 2 shows.
Not a lizard person.
Not a story. Not a lizard person. No, but certainly Tyler Milliken's cousin. Did he ever give you permission, Nick, to use his picture of his chain for the internet? Did he ever get back to you? Tyler Milliken's cousin?
He says yes.
He did get permission.
Oh,
right behind you.
Yeah.
No, but I know Tyler Milliken's cousin's here. He came in and took a picture of my show sheet.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he did.
He's got something for you today, Fred. I don't know if you just want to do this now or maybe if you want to schedule this. He's all excited. He brought in a gift bag for you.
Oh. Let's do this now.
I didn't.
Maybe we do this off the air. Maybe
What?
maybe
Come on.
maybe we take the foot off the gas.
No.
Well, or do it at 6:46. I'd say those are the two. I'd say those are the two primary options.
Bring the boy in. Come on.
Bring him in.
Come on.
Let him present you with
Let
a
him give
gift.
it to you.
Well, let's talk to Pat. Pat, go ahead. I already did the Andy Wong thing. Pat, go ahead.
Hey, Hardy, were you driving on Waze heading to New York City near Charlton on Thursday? Because it was a nightmare situation for me and my family. It took me off the road, off of 20. I went through 2 horse farms, 1 pig farm. I felt like Chevy Chase in the Vacation movie when I'm lost in St. Louis, or Deliverance.
Yeah.
I'm done with Waze. It's over. I'm done with Waze. I can't do it anymore.
That's exactly what happened to me. I'm sorry. That's exactly what happened to me. That when I was in New Hampshire, it took me through streets with like kids jumping rope and playing basketball. Like I can't tell, like with driveways and
happened to
people
me
having
too.
lemonade on their porches.
All of a sudden, you're in downtown Meredith, New Hampshire, and you're like, "How the hell did I get here?"
It's
I
just
don't even
not
know what
right.
towns I was in.
Oh,
I
same
was
with me.
Yeah.
It would be like driving through a subdivision. I don't even know they have those here, but it would be like driving into Canterbury Commons and driving around on just like a park.
But all maps must do this from time to time.
Google Maps does not.
The simple thing about like the quickest route is to take a right here and then you take a left back there. And if you've ever driven that route before, you go, no, you go straight. You're going to drive an extra quarter mile, but then you don't have to, make that nasty left turn onto that street that you can never make a left turn onto. Things like that.
Or the psychological aspect of it. Like, for instance, would you rather be moving on conventional roadways or stuck on the freeway? Now, like the freeway might get you there like a minute faster. Would you rather be moving on side streets?
Well, that's why Waze takes you off and puts you on side streets.
Yeah,
That's for the
but
people
I'm
who'd
talking
rather
about
be
side
moving.
streets like Route 9 or side streets like, real
Residential.
roads. I'm not talking about going through a neighborhood.
Yeah.
I would rather not go through a neighborhood. I'd rather be on the freeway than in a New Hampshire quaint town. I mean, going by like a courthouse.
I like that Waze puts me into neighborhoods. I get to look at some homes, get some landscaping ideas.
Sure.
See what's going on.
Keep your eyes on the road and your hands at 10
and 2,
10 and 2, baby. And get double nickels on the dime when you're on that freeway. Come on, baby.
Team USA play a little tune-up against Canada last night. Canada went out and scored early, like 11
They can't
of the
be that
first
bad,
12
right?
points.
Canada's got a good roster.
Yeah, they got to be pretty good because they got Wiggins. They got the kid Murray from Denver's
Jamal
Canadian.
Murray, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, R.J. Barrett, who's a starter for the Knicks. I mean, they got some guys. And
Wiggins
Kelly
on the-
Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk off the bench.
If you're a girl that hooked up with Kelly Olynyk, shame on you. You did it just because he plays basketball with that horse face.
As good as they are, they're still going up against this.
U.S. playing Australia on Monday. Here's LeBron. Look at that.
You saw that coming.
Oh, wow.
Good work there, boys.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's like I was there.
Apparently that was
Wow.
Steph to LeBron on an alley-oop. So
that's something else. I'll tell you this, is that we'll get into it later, but it is interesting to me that Jaylen Brown, there's 3 Celtics on this U.S. Olympic team, and Jaylen Brown's not one of them. And the reasons are BS. The Derek White going on, there was a quote from, I guess, Grant Hill's putting the team together. He's one of the guys who puts the team together, but he's really not. Nike's putting the team together.
He's the face of Team USA basketball.
And he said that it's something along the lines of like like a piano recital. You need a piano mover, you need a guy to set up the hall, and you need the piano
chemistry,
players.
Fred. He fits in with the team better.
And I'd say that's the worst analogy ever. I would have the worst piano mover in the world do it, so I could get the best piano player in the world to play. I would sacrifice everything. The best piano. I mean, if I could get the guy who does That's Just the Way It Is,
Bruce Hornsby.
If I could get him, I mean, I would have 3 dogs to slay the thing in. If I could get but it is Nike is keeping Jaylen Brown off this team. There's not a question about it. There's no way Jrue Holiday and Derek White fit better in quotations on this team, or that Derek White is the best comp to Kawhi Leonard. That's nonsense. There is something going on with Jaylen Brown, and I don't know if it's his fault or someone else's fault, but something's going on where he's getting screwed.
I thought about this yesterday, and if it's, I was trying to wrap my head around why they wouldn't want the Finals MVP.
Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He won back-to-back MVP awards in the playoffs, and he was second-team All-NBA last year. There's no excuse.
I heard somebody say something about it's like, well, Jaylen Brown, courts some controversy at times. Like, you're talking about the Olympics where like Nazis went up against what they considered to be inferior races. I mean, controversy comes, I'm not saying cheap these days, but this is supposed to be the point where it's like, no, ideologies aside about whatever you think, you get the best athletes and you put them out there. And how Jaylen Brown isn't on this team.
Well, if it's his ideology, that's not a national story. And I'm not even positive what it is. I just know he supported Kyrie Irving, which every player in the NBA did.
Pretty much.
They all love him. So whatever, I don't know what his ideologies are. I really don't. And if I don't, certainly the nation isn't, so there's either something going on with him that we don't know about, which I would not want to speculate because that's not fair to him. Or Nike, as is believed by Stephen A. Smith, and I've heard other people at ESPN say it, and other national guys say that Nike is believed to pick the guys that go on this team. Jaylen Brown doesn't have a major shoe deal. He was on Adidas beforehand. He tweeted out something to Nike, and that has to be what it is.
That was in October of 2022, that tweet. And Nike has a long-ass memory. I mean, it's. I have the tweet here in front of me. Nike founder, this guy tweeted, Nike founder Phil Knight says Kyrie Irving stepped over the line when the Nets player shared an anti-Semitic film on Twitter, and Jaylen Brown answered back, "Since when did Nike care about ethics?"
Yeah, and so
That
who are
was-
not on
that apparently is the tweet that got him in trouble.
And who are the two players that are on this team? But then Jaylen Brown tweeted I think yesterday, really Nike.
Yes, really Nike, but that was in after.
Right.
Yeah.
But
this is punitive Nike. This is really what we're doing here.
And then so the two players that aren't on this team are Kyrie Irving and Jaylen Brown. And I mean Brunson's not on this team either. But Brunson wouldn't replace Kawhi Leonard, right? Like if you lost Kawhi Leonard, the comp is Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Like Jaylen Brown would be on this team before Holiday. I buy. He plays a different position.
They
He's
wanted him
stopper.
a long time ago. He's a great defensive player.
He
They
plays
need him
at a
for
high
that.
level in the biggest games.
He's done it before.
It's like Shane Battier when he was on the team like a couple of generations ago, or iterations ago. I get like one guy, but you don't get Derek White and Jrue Holiday. No way. Go ahead.
There are a couple other things at play here. I know we're against the clock. Let me just add this. Kevin Durant has not played. He has a sore calf. He's going to miss a few games. They think he's going to be back for the Olympics, but maybe not. If Durant can't play and they need another forward, would they again skip over Jaylen Brown? That'll be the real test.
Well, would they?
There's some plausible deniability. There's some maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
I don't know.
If Durant can't play, that'll erase all doubt.
I don't know because if Durant doesn't play and then they add like another all the NBA guy or something, I don't know if that's even possible. But if they add like another star, that's something. But there's two guys that are like, not as highly paid as him on his own team that have made this. It is ridiculous.
Bigger travesty, Jaylen Brown being left off or Isaiah Thomas being shut out of the dream team.
Well, Isaiah Thomas, but we know why Isaiah Thomas was shut out of the dream team. It's a fact. I
They
mean,
didn't like him.
They didn't like
Jordan
him.
hated him.
Yeah, Jordan
hated him.
I mean, there's no mystery around that. I mean, Isaiah Thomas should have been on that team.
Yeah.
Chris Mullins on that team and Isaiah Thomas.
John
was on that
Stockton over Isaiah Thomas?
team? No, Isaiah Thomas should have been on that team. They got kept off because of Michael Jordan. I mean, we know that for a fact. What coach is the coolest guy in the world? We'll find out in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Red Sox are beaten by Oakland last night 5-2 at Fenway Park. Right fielder Lawrence Butler had a 2-run double for the winners. Rob Refsnyder homered for the Sox. Tanner Houck pitches against the A's tonight. And then Kansas City will come to town for 3 games heading into the All-Star break. The Sox remain in possession of a playoff spot at the moment with the trade deadline a little less than 3 weeks away. Team president Sam Kennedy told Nesson yesterday the team will take on salary to help the franchise.
John Henry and Tom Werner, Mike Gordon, the entire Fenway Sports Group partnership have proved time and time again in our 2.5 decades that resources will not be a problem when it comes to doing everything we can to be a winning championship team.
The Celtics' Drew Holiday started. He scored 11 points last night. The U.S. men's basketball team beat Canada 86-72 in their first exhibition game of the summer. Anthony Edwards led all scorers with 13 for the American team off the bench. Jason Tatum also added 8 points. The next game for the U.S. is Monday in Abu Dhabi against Australia as they get ready for the summer games in Paris at the end of the month. Also, the Celtics' Derek White was added to the roster yesterday. He replaces Kawhi Leonard, who has a sore knee. Kevin Durant didn't play last night. He couldn't miss the next couple of games with a calf strain as well. And the U.S. men's soccer team fired manager Greg Berhalter yesterday after the team failed to advance out of the group stage of the Copa America tournament. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, the official roofing partner of the Boston Celtics. Mention 98.5 The Sports Hub and get 10% off your new roof. Visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Boston's first FM all sports radio station. Let's go! All sports radio. Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Our show's brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. That's a big thing. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And apparently that's a big deal. Apparently, there's other shows going on and on and on about how the streaming numbers are very high on visually. Ay. All right, so who's the coolest coach in town? The great thing about college football is that it is not a big. There's places where it's the biggest thing in the world. These small pockets of the country, these like hick areas where it's the biggest thing in the world, but outside of that bubble, no one cares. If I was to ask you who Ollie Gordon was, I just said the name Ollie Gordon, what would you say?
Like a 1930s film star, like right when the talkies started.
I know. Wasn't Ollie the kid on Hoosiers? That his name?
He was the granny shot kid. Yeah.
So that's what your brain you go to Cuckoo Fran and Ollie, perhaps.
Cuckoo Fran and Ollie
from John's childhood. Ollie Gordon.
There was Fatty Arbuckle. There was Ollie Gordon.
Fatty killed the broad.
Arbuckle.
Yeah, Fatty killed the broad.
Well, so they say if you believe the newspapers.
Well, I mean, it was the Black Delilah case. Ollie Gordon was the Big 12 reigning offensive player of the year.
Ah, yes. Ollie Gordon the second. That's what threw me off.
That's on the back of his uniform, I'm sure.
I don't see the second, but maybe I'll
Ollie
take your
Gordon,
word for it.
I.
Oh, very good. Well, this just says Ollie Gordon's from the Oklahoman, which they want to change very bad because it has Homa in it. They don't like that in Oklahoma.
Right.
If I said Mike Gundy off the top of your head, would you know? You know where I'm going, but would you know Mike Gundy off the top of your head?
I would.
See, I wouldn't recognize the name, but I certainly know who he is.
Yeah.
He is the coach of Oklahoma State. He's like a character from, eastbound and down. He is Oklahoma. Like, he's got what appears to be the world's worst toupee. He's had it forever. It's jet black, and it sits on top of like a shaved head, and it's doing it a mullet. It's not a mullet. It's a hairpiece. It's sort of a mullet, but the top is as long as the side. You'll just have to look at him. It looks like someone glued the wrong wig onto someone's head. Like they way too small for the guy's head. Because I hate when people call a mullet something that's not a mullet. It's not tight on top and long in the back. It's just one big coif with the side shaved. It's really something to behold.
It's like an animal pelt.
It really is. It's like, Gundy, put your seat in me. Mike Gundy is the coach of OSU, and so Oklahoma's on pins and needles because it's Big 12 Media Day, and they got to get in there. Like, this is the biggest thing that ever happened in Oklahoma. Oh, can you imagine if your kid goes, I want to go to Oklahoma State? Guess who's paying for it? Not me. You go get Oklahoma State. You want to matriculate with those morons? Hachi Machi. If you could go to play football at a Big 12 school, anywhere in the country, like a D1 school, why would you possibly ever go to Oklahoma State?
It's a part of the country that is not much fun.
No, it's really not fun.
I mean, I know this from personal experience. I've been out there. I know exactly where Oklahoma State is. There's nothing around it. There's nothing to do. There's zero. And it's flat, and it goes forever. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is really something else. It is. I know people that move out there. Like, I know people who've moved out there, and it's no fun. Well, Ollie Gordon got a DUI. He got a DUI. All right. He got a DUI. These things happen. He's a college kid. He blew a point. I believe he blew a .01, which is
a 0.1.
Okay, so a .08 is the limit, I would imagine,
Correct.
in Oklahoma. So he was kind of drunk. He drove a car. It's not a good thing. I guess he was weaving and stuff, and they pulled him over, as drunk driving arrests go. And he was arrested for drunk driving. And they asked Mike Gundy about it. He didn't suspend the kid, and here's what Mike Gundy said.
What's his status, and why did you want to bring him today?
So the college football is changing, we all know. And we can say these guys aren't employees, but they're really employees. These guys get paid a lot of money. And when I looked at it, I thought, okay, I'm going to be real honest with myself first, and then make the best decision for what I think is good for Ollie, our university, and our team. And then I start thinking about
Okay, so right now I'm like, okay, look, you don't have to suspend him. The guy has, the guy got a DUI. He's going to, get the community service and everything else that comes with it. He's hopefully learned his lesson. No one was hurt. This is why you don't go to jail generally for your first DUI. This is what, what happens.
Yeah, and, he's doing this with them asking him not only, what are you doing, but why did you bring him here? Because he brought him as a team representative, too, which is, I think, important. Not only are we going to find out what he did or did not do, but he brought him along. Here's
Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, you get the Big 12, you can't not bring the kid.
And then I start thinking about being a parent. I have a 28, I have a 23, and a 19. And first I thought, okay, so I looked it up on my phone. What would be the legal limit? Like in Oklahoma is .08, and Ollie was 0.1. So I looked it up, and it was based on body weight. Not to get into the legal side of it, but I thought really 2 or 3 beers or 4. I'm not justifying what Ollie did. I'm telling you what decision I made.
All right. Well, if it's based on body weight and he's a running back in the Big 12, I would imagine that would go against the less beer theory. I don't think 4 beers, you're blowing a point. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know. But body weight, it would mean it would take him more, not less. I mean, that's just a fact.
Correct.
Well, I thought I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life. and I, it was just fine. So I got lucky. People get lucky. Ollie made a decision that he wished he could have done better. But when I talked to Ollie, I told him, I said, you're lucky you got out light because you make a lot of money to play football. So back in the day, being able to cover the cost of what he's going to go through would be difficult for a college player. It's not for him.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's not an issue for him. So nobody got hurt. I said, we see people doing this and people losing their lives across the country, not just football players, but everybody. So you got out lucky.
Yeah, hell yeah. He said that he's done it 1,000 times. So right now you can just say that Mike Gundy's the coolest coach in the world. Mike Gundy has done it.
I had 4 beers before I sat down with y'all.
Yeah, exactly. And you think that if I get pulled over drunk, they're going to give a ticket to the Mike Gundy with this head of hair? I've had a horse head in my lap and a crack pipe in my jaw and a dang fifth in my left hand. You think they're gonna give the Gunster a ticket? Double guns, baby. 8 beers and 10 whippets. That's called a Gundy. I'll just go into the bar and go, give me a Gundy. And they just slap a damn bag of crystal meth, a Johnny Walker Black, and a cigar.
And then my car keys.
And then they go, please drive me home. Good for Mike Gundy. And the thing about it is that everyone's like all incredulous about it in Oklahoma. How do you think they'd feel the first game of the season when this kid's not playing? They would trade it all. I bet you there's people that are fans of this team that if the kid murdered someone, they would have been like, well, you got to let him play. He's Offensive Player of the Year.
He's clearly provoked.
He's our running back.
Yeah.
These coaches, by the way, are so upset about the paying of athletes.
Oh.
They do not like it at all.
Well, that's how he started his statement. College football is changing, okay? So let me explain it to you as clearly as I can. I can't afford to suspend a kid after he got 1 DUI when he's making all this money and he just go to a different school.
That's the real story. Not him saying I did it 1,000 times. Is that he's saying this kid makes a lot of money. There's people paying him, so they're going to get pissed at me.
Boosters blew a significant portion of their budget on this kid.
Yeah, so that's exactly what he's saying. He's like, there are people paying this kid a lot of money to play, and if he doesn't play, they're going to get pissed.
Yeah.
And these are the people.
Lose my job.
And my program's going to suffer because these guys are going to stop paying players because they're going to get mad at me that I suspended the kid. And good for him. He's like, this is the way it is now. He's basically a professional athlete, and the people that are paying him don't want him suspended. So what do you want out of me? And he's like, I drive around drunk. I don't care. And they suspended the kid. I can't suspend them. These college coaches, man. Things got significantly tougher for them.
But this is what it is. I mean, this is a good insight into what college coaches. It's also a good insight into why some coaches are getting out because they realize that this is nuts.
Because you were always indebted to the boosters, right? But now you really are because now they're the boss of the player. Because who's the boss of the player? The coach or the guy paying the player?
And
like, who's ultimately your boss?
You find out immediately. If you're a high school kid and you're a top 50 recruit, you don't deal. You deal sort of with the coach, but okay, how much money am I going to get paid if I come to your program? Okay, fine. Georgia's offering me 1.5. If you're going to offer me $750,000, I'm going to Georgia.
Unless you can somehow make the case that I can get out of your program quicker, that you'll play me right away.
Right.
Can
I get out of your program in 3 years to get drafted as opposed to 4 over there?
But ultimately, when that all comes down, because like Ohio State could conceively go, I'm going to give you guys all like $1 billion,
right?
But you're not going to play.
But that's part of it. But 4 out of every 5 recruits are the other one,
right? So, but you do need to pay these kids, and if someone if with the transfer portal, well, you can just leave. If someone's Big 12 Player of the Year, they could go wherever they want to go,
and that's something else that Gundy makes sure. Okay, you remember when I fell on my sword for that kid? I'll do the same for you if you come here.
Yeah. So everyone's making. I mean, Mike Gundy, his reasoning was not good for a college coach going, I've done it 1,000 times, even though it's
Gundy's
probably
unhinged.
true.
Gundy's unhinged. You remember the I'm a man speech? You know, I'm 40. I'm a man. That was Gundy, too. I mean, he's crazy.
Yeah, but this is him saying, like, this is him saying this is the reality of college football now.
Yeah.
This kid's getting paid a lot of money, and I don't know what you want me to do about it. I'm not his boss. Like, you know, that's what's happening here. All right. Well, the real go ahead.
He went on Twitter afterward and said that what he had said at that media day. He said, "My intended point today was that we are all guilty of making bad decisions. It was not a reference to something specific." Well, specifically, it's about the kid who got the DUI.
No. I think he's saying it's not a specific incident with him.
Right.
Like 1,000 times was a turn of phrase.
Uh-huh.
Because if you thought about thousands of times, I've been drunk thousands of times and driven a car. That's a lot of times. Like thousands of times if you're being like literal. Thousands of times, even for like an alcoholic, is a lot.
Right.
Like being drunk driving
It's
a
like
car.
a year and a half worth of driving.
A year and a half? How many days are in a year? It's like 5 years. 5 days of every day for 5 years driving a car drunk. Thousands of times? It's like a decade of driving drunk every day.
Yeah, it is not a difficult situation to get to the bottom of. 5 years ago, that kid would probably face some minor suspension from the team.
Yeah, really, what do you want the kid to do? Like how much do you want the kid to suffer? I mean, there are laws in place. He's got pulled over. They arrested him. Like they did arrest him.
Right.
So even though he's a football player, they arrested him. He's going through the legal process. I don't know what it's up to Oklahoma State to do anything about the kid.
But a few years ago,
he would have been suspended for the first game.
Yeah, right. And now you can't do that because you get pissed off and leave.
He's making $800,000. People are saying Ollie Gordon.
Yes, his NIL evaluation.
All right, and who knows how accurate that is. All right, well, with the pros, it appears, according to Hard Knocks, the Patriots got a good one. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Toucher and
me, so I know you do. Spoiler alert. And Hard Knocks is a whole situation. It is the New York Giants. Now, the New York Giants, if you'll recall, have Daniel Jones as their quarterback, which is not an ideal situation, even though who knows how fair it is to, blame him for what's going on in New York. But, Hardy, you have watched this Hard Knocks. Many props to you. And take us through what happened, because it does relate to the Patriots.
It does. So this is about the combine and the Giants trying to figure out what they're going to do with their 6th overall pick. So they have the 6th. The Patriots have the 3rd. Correct. So this is them at the combine. The first thing we're going to hear is as they're going around the room and they're talking about quarterbacks. They're talking about wide receivers, and each scout has a different guy that they have to give 20 seconds on. So this should be the guy giving his little rundown on Drake May. The pick by your New England Patriots.
We got May.
Yeah, so Drake is a legacy kid at UNC that was quarterback there. Just personality-wise, a little looser than Daniel, but there are some similarities. I got no issues with the football character. That's all going to grade out high. The mental's going to probably grade out high for you guys, but of course, do your work on that.
Wow, what insight from this guy. Let's go around the room. He's a legacy kid at UNC. Oh, well, I knew that. I could have told the guy that. Which one of these morons doesn't have Mel Kiper information coming to them?
It's the enthusiasm for the guy also. That's the best
My
part
favorite
of it.
part is at the end, he's like, his mental's going to grade out, but you guys do the work on that. You're the genius.
Is that what we're paying you for to present this to us?
Yeah, I just had to get you coffee. You morons do this thing. I'm trying to scrape 2 pennies together.
So the thing that everybody's losing their minds over is the sit down with the whiteboard in the one-on-one player interviews. And this is where they, different coaches will ask different things. Brian Daboll, who is, got his PhD in coaching, sits down with these guys, and he does it with Jaden Daniels, and he does it with every quarterback. And he's like, do this, do that, draw me this, draw me that. So he's got Drake May in there for the interview, and he's talking him through a play. And this is the thing where obviously Drake May really impressed him with this.
Okay. Gundolphin right.
Gundolphin right, 72, Tundra, float, H-angle.
Gundolphin right, 72, Tundra, float, H-angle.
Yeah, so Tundra stands for what?
200s.
200s, and what does float stand for?
It's got the corner of the owl.
Flag, we call it a flag, so
okay.
We end up saying corner flag, but it's
flag.
Flag, and the angle is an angle. You got me on that?
Easy stuff.
Then you use Rita to the right, Linda to the left. It was a flip formation. Good?
Yes, Linda's to the right and Rita's to the left, and both her hands are in the middle. They work the auger like a cow giving the milk. Rita and Linda. I thought you said Rhea first, and I was like, Rhea Perlman. I did her in 1985. Norm! She was sassy.
Rita to the right, Linda to the left.
72, 5-man protection, slide to the will. So if the strength of the formation is right, what formation is that again?
Yeah, Gundolphin right.
Yeah, right. He's there. The will's over there. The line would slide there. We'd say 72 Rita.
72 Rita. Gotcha.
That doesn't sound overly complicated.
It doesn't. And I heard Zoe breaking it down like Zoe recites these things by rote, and he understands everything, and it's like, yeah, that's just quarterback talk. That is,
Rita means right and Linda means left. That's not overly difficult to understand.
Tundra 2 under. You know what? I got it. I don't know what the hell they're talking about for half, but I got it.
Yeah,
All right.
if you put me in, said it to me and then made me know exactly what was going to happen, I couldn't do it. But I can pick up enough. If you were talking about me at the nail salon, I could understand enough where I knew I could get stanza you. I could figure out what you were saying about me. Like when I was downstairs and I heard the guys talking in Spanish, they weren't talking about me, but I knew what they were saying. Remember how proud I was of myself? Remember when I came up here and I'm like, I just understood what the guys downstairs were saying.
That's right.
They were talking to each other and I understood it. They were making an order for produce and vegetables. And I was like, I'm like, I understand what they're saying. All right. That's just about me. Why not make it about myself? All right, go
You said,
ahead.
oh, huevos? You guys talking about eggs? Huh? Figure that out.
That's pretty much where we were, but there you go.
All right, so whether it was that or they actually looked at the film, maybe they just like him. Maybe they just like Drake May. Or maybe they just like picking third as opposed to picking sixth. But the Giants have a conversation amongst themselves and their GM, Joe Shine, and he's pointing across the facility at where the Patriots are set up, and he decides he's going to go have a conversation with Elliott over there and just talk about things.
The best quarterbacks don't last in the draft. If the Giants want one of the top 3, they might have to make a deal.
New England's as far away as they could possibly be.
You gonna take a trek down there?
Yeah, I'm just going to go down there and just say, hey, before you do anything at 3, just make sure you let us know. Just plant the seed. If you are going to move the pick, don't do it without at least giving us a call.
Yeah.
And, we're
less rebuttal.
We're interested. But,
yeah.
All right, I'll go plant the seed.
Yep.
I know they know they're on TV, but this seems all very low stakes. Like they're really far away. They couldn't be further away. I'm going to have to walk all the way across this hall.
Well, no, he's actually across the stadium. Now, you think it'd be faster if I go this way? Because then you got to go through that little restaurant thing. Might actually be quicker to walk around. It's a little bit longer, but it's a bigger concourse. And if there's anyone out there, I don't know.
These are like multi-billion-dollar things with a lot of money on the line, and these guys don't seem like.
And so many people. This is what always like boggles my mind. Whether it's this, when they're the scouts are giving their reports, or in the war room, there's like so many people involved in this stuff. And like, yeah, I'd want to pick at third instead of sixth. Also, is your guy going to be there? How many people does it take to figure this out?
Again, when we had Wes
How many
Welker,
conversations do we have to have about me having a conversation with the team who's picking 3 spots ahead of us?
we had Wes Welker like in studio a couple years after he retired, and he was the Texans receivers coach, and he was sitting in here, and after we weren't on the air, and he was telling, we had like Ninkovich and someone else in here, they were talking among themselves as players, and he's like, dude, he's like, my job sucks. And they're like, why? And he's like, I'm printing out photos from every game of every receiver on every play. So an individual receiver on every play, like hundreds of pictures per game. And he's like, I print them out and no one ever looks at them. He's like, I'm doing stuff for no reason. Like, we're never going to use any of it. And this is Wes Welker, the former NFL great, receivers coach, fairly big position on an NFL team, and he's just doing busy work. They're just making him busy. He's sitting on a computer in a room, hitting the print button. He's logging games like I did at CNSI when Willie Geist was my editor.
Years past, you come out of the roof, you would even look in.
Whoa. This guy's had a few Gundies.
Years past, you come out of the roof, you would even look in.
I know. I had anxiety walking in. It's a pager.
Talk about something?
Yeah, you got 2 seconds? What do you, if you just do this for me, if you guys are going to do anything at 3, like move out at all, again, you don't got to tell me your plan or anything, but if you have any inkling, just call me.
We've had a couple of teams call, and it's kind of been this conversation.
Yeah.
No one's offered. Were you guys 6?
We're 6, yeah. And
That's a good spot.
may not be till draft day. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows how? But if you just keep me in the back of your mind, just
sure.
Are these the GMs talking?
Yeah, it's Elliott Wolf and Joe Shine.
Not impressive.
There should be more urgency, right? I mean,
know what it is? As we get older and these guys get younger, you realize there's no one really in charge. I think somebody's got to be running things. Oh, no, it's people like us or even younger than us, and nobody really knows what's going on.
No, they don't seem overly tuned in. This doesn't seem like a meeting of two. It doesn't seem like a negotiation between nations. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like Winston Churchill sitting down during World War II.
Could be a fantasy football league draft, honestly.
Yeah, seriously. Like Churchill would be drunk, dealing with Hitler and stuff and making these decisions. And you'd figure that you get to the table, even in the Ulysses S. Grant and Jefferson, them sitting down and figuring out how to end the Civil War. You'd think. I wonder if this is how every negotiation goes down. There's just these dumb. I wonder if this is what my agent does. Just these dumb conversations that I'm paying him 5% off the top.
That's right. Before you attack this country, just give me a call.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, before the genocide thing.
Well, you decide to drop those bombs, maybe.
Yeah, you keep up with the genocide. Don't make us use this thing. We got a guy over here, Oppenheimer. He's working on something. We might have to unleash it on you fools. Let's take it easy with Pearl Harbor, okay? Because if you do, we're going to have to go bonkers. Let's just put it that way. It's going to take a while for you to forgive.
Very uninspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just shows that we're all just people. Everyone's the same. Just half-assing their way through work.
Hey, if you want to trade out of that 3-pick, you call us. Oh yeah.
I was nervous coming in here. It's Patriots. Hey. If you're going to think about, okay, all right, we've had some teams call us. Wink. Wow, high-level negotiation going on. Well, anyway, the Giants seem to have liked Drake May. So that should make you feel good if you're a Patriots fan.
Yes, they did like Drake May. They liked a couple of quarterbacks. They liked the idea of picking 3 instead of 6. There's no guarantee that was going to be Drake May.
Oh, yeah, sure it would have. If they were trading from 6 to 3, they were going to take Drake May. There's no question about it. That's who they were. They knew Caleb Williams was going 1. They knew Daniels was going 2. They knew the Patriots would take May at 3.
Remember right before the draft, the whole J.J. McCarthy thing and how the Giants liked J.J. McCarthy, even though that turned out not to be true. But at the time that these conversations were taking place, that was the narrative.
Yeah, what they wanted is they weren't trading up to 3 to get J.J. McCarthy. They wanted Drake May. That's what they were going to do.
Or if something wacky happened, is all I'm saying. It was because they sat down with all the top quarterbacks. They talked with all of them. They talked with Caleb Williams, and they did the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean they ended up taking Malik Neighbors at 6. If they wanted J.J. McCarthy, they would have taken J.J. McCarthy at 6.
Yes,
J.J. McCarthy went to 10, so they wanted Drake May. They were trading up to 3 to get Drake May. They weren't going to take Marvin Harrison at 3. They were going to trade up to take Drake May.
Dayball's conversation with Malik Neighbors was a little interesting because he asked me, he goes, how are you with not playing? Like if, it's game day and you don't start or you're not getting the reps. And Malik Neighbors said, I don't deal with that very well. He said, good. I like that. He said, I want you to want to play. He said, but you're going to have to, rein that in a little bit. There's a lot of guys out there prepping every week, and we're trying to do the best thing to win, and you may not play on every play that you want to play on.
But you probably will, because we're taking you number 6 in the draft.
But it was a refreshingly honest answer, I thought, from Malik Neighbors, where I was expecting to say, I just want what's best for the football team, and I want to get out there and win. And he said, no, I don't handle that well.
Well, if I'm Neighbors, I'm saying already I've gone to 3 years of quote unquote college without having to attend a class. I've been paid millions of dollars, double Freedom Rockets. If you don't like me, someone else will. The difference in money is really marginal. And it is what it is.
That's true. It's true. You don't like me? Fine. I'll go 7 and play there.
Or worst case scenario, I'll go back to LSU and they'll pay me $4 million. So, really, whatever you want to do is fine with me. Yeah. There's college is not. It's not a can-do coach thing anymore. I mean, look at Caleb. Look at Caleb Williams. I mean, he was jerking around with the Bears at 1 for a little bit. I mean, he ultimately didn't do anything, but I mean, there was that hint. There's going to come a time where one of these kids is just going to go, nah, I'm going to stay. Peyton Manning style, when the Jets had the number 1 pick of the draft. And Peyton Manning said, no.
Not playing for Parcells. Nope.
He said, I'm not going to New York. I'm going to go back to college. And then you will not get me. All right. We will be back in just a moment. Jaylen Brown. He is not on the U.S. Olympic team, but Derek White and Jrue Holiday are. We will discuss.
Sports Hub.
Toucher and Artie, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 617-779-0985. Kawhi Leonard can't play for USA men's basketball. And he was replaced on that team by Derek White, which means that there are 3 Boston Celtics on the USA men's basketball team. There is Jrue Holiday, who was believed for a long time to be on this team. There is Jason Tatum, of course, and Derek White. Now, the Woj guy at ESPN had reported, like, if someone was going to leave the team, Derek White was the replacement. I guess he'd been reporting this for a while, but the question is why? Jaylen Brown put at Nike, "This is what we're doing." John brought up earlier in the show that when Kyrie Irving lost his shoe deal, he went after Nike on Twitter, right? Jaylen Brown?
Yes.
So it's been long believed by a lot of people in media and around the NBA that Nike has a big say in who makes USA men's basketball, apparently, which is what you want. That's what the Olympics were really created for, is to have amateur athletes perform in these sports, to toss that all away, have pro athletes, and have the shoe companies ultimately pulling the strings. So it's just one big marketing opportunity. How about screw the Olympics? How about who cares? I actively root against the USA in basketball. I really do.
We've talked about this. This was from 4 years ago. We discussed this.
Yes. Yeah. Now, no one loves the USA more than me. No one.
That's wrong. If you love the USA, you'd root for
no
USA
one
basketball.
loves no. I identify as a U.S. citizen.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, my pronoun is USA.
Got it.
That's my daughter told me that on the 4th of July.
Oh,
she's like, my pronoun's USA, and I actually thought it was funny. I'm like, where'd you hear it? She goes, I made it up, and I'm like, I'm not positive you did. Well, Grant Hill is the guy who's speaking for USA basketball. He says you get 12 spots, and you have to build a team, and one of the hardest things is leaving people off that roster that I'm a fan of, that I look forward to watching throughout the season, throughout the playoffs, guys who've been to the finals, MVPs, guys who've been part of the program, guys who've won gold medals, guys who I respect and admire and enjoy watching, which tells you nothing. But the responsibility that I have is to put together a team, and a team that complements each other, a team that fits, a team that will give us the best opportunity for success. And so whatever theories that might be out there, they're just that, but that's my responsibility. There is not a team in the world, that would take Derek White over Jaylen Brown. There just isn't. Derek White's not nearly as good as Jaylen Brown. He's the superior player. You can make a million things. And I understand having a Draymond Green or a Shane Battier on a U.S. team. One guy, right? Like one defensive guy, like one glue guy, one guy that if things get rough, like can handle it.
That would arguably be Jrue Holiday for this team.
Exactly. So when Jrue Holiday was put on the team, no one said, I wonder why that is.
Yeah.
Because you could say, like, why would you put him? He's not as good as Kyrie Irving, or like, why would you put him? He's not as good.
Universally,
he's not as
liked.
Good.
He's an elite defensive player.
He's not as good as Jalen Brunson. Like,
Right.
Why is he on the team? But you know why? Because he's an elite defensive player who's been in these championships and da-da-da-da-da. And so you get, like, one guy. As I said before, Shane Battier's been on an Olympic team, and Shane Battier wasn't one of the top, 12, 15 players in the NBA, and he was on the team, and you knew why. He was defense. We'll tell you. Country Day kid, Detroit Country Day kid. He went to, he was a defensive guy, a rebounder. He was going to be not selfish. But the comp for Kawhi Leonard, who's a good defensive player, but is a superstar in the NBA and can score, is Jaylen Brown's a good defensive player who could score in the NBA. Jaylen Brown's better than Derek White. He's more valuable for the team. I don't think that there's any doubt that this decision was made not with basketball in mind. There's no doubt about it. You can't have 3 players from a team on a all-star team and leave the second best player off.
Leave the finals MVP out of the conversation. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And it's really bold by Nike to be this in your face with it. It'd be like an umpire calling a ball in the dirt, strike 3,
Yeah.
Because he had money on the other team.
Why'd you do that? Oh, I don't like this guy. So I called strike three.
Yeah, or I had money on the game, obviously. Like I'm blowing huge calls, like not being subtle about it, like just going, I'm calling a penalty on everything because there's 2 minutes left and I need the Knicks to win. Like that, I mean, you think you would be a little more subtle about it, but this is really just Jaylen Brown has done something that I hate doing this because this is just, but and I'm not speculating that he did it at all, but there's only two reasons why this would happen. A, he's done something that they don't like or they're afraid is going to come out, which I highly doubt. Because the whole thing about him being controversial is nonsense. He's not nationally controversial. No one knows anything about Jaylen Brown nationally. He's not a story nationally. The only thing people know about Jaylen Brown is that he won a championship, was Finals MVP. They don't know anything. They don't know where he went to college. They don't know that he supported Kyrie Irving. No one knows any of that. USA basketball does, but it's not going to be a story in the Olympics.
No,
the USA men's basketball team is not the biggest story in the Olympics. There's a lot of this is the time to have a problem is during the Olympics if you're an Olympic athlete because that's there's some figure skater that's gonna like smoke crack or get hit with like a pipe like there's something's gonna happen in the Olympics. I'm not worried about Jaylen
every
Brown.
single year.
Yeah, I mean
it's always a figure skater. It's the last one you'd suspect.
Or there's a in the Winter Olympics, there's some snowboarder that they shake their finger at because he tests positive for weed, and then he goes on the Tonight Show and becomes famous for 5 seconds. Or Ryan Lochte, pees on all over a bathroom and disgraces himself.
Still, yeah.
But so don't buy. I don't. There's so I let's. That would just be a reason, but I can't believe that's the reason. So the only other reason is that Jaylen Brown was with Adidas. He doesn't have a major shoe contract now. And he had badmouthed Nike in the past. That's why you would keep him off. Because I don't even think you would keep Kyrie Irving off the team based on his comments. But, okay, I'll ask you this. Who would you put on the team, Jalen Brunson or Kyrie Irving, if you had to pick one? Not based on the formula of the team, but just if you had to pick one.
If you take the personality out of it, Kyrie's much better player.
See, I take Brunson. I think Brunson's a better scorer. And after what I saw in the finals from Kyrie, I think I'd take Brunson. My point is this.
Okay.
It's debatable. My point is it's debatable. Okay?
Okay.
So take Kyrie Irving out of the picture because I don't think he would have made the team anyway because I would have put Brunson on before Kyrie. But at least that's a debate. There's literally no debate that Jaylen Brown's a better player than Derek White. And they play similar. They're similar size. Yeah. Jaylen Brown's bigger. There's Derek White 6'4". How tall is Kawhi? 6'8"?
Yeah,
6'9".
Jaylen Brown's a taller player. He scores more. He's a all NBA player.
What are you afraid he's get like? It's not like he is Luka Doncic and like doesn't play defense.
And these guys consider everything, whether it's Grant Hill or Team USA. So they're thinking about, all right, what does this really mean for not just the team, but for the player too? And every player wants a gold medal. I don't think any of these guys don't want to participate. But we're going to ask Derek White to go to this. Does he have anything going on? His wife just had a baby. What are we asking him to do? To go away for a couple of months, a month at least. It's a long time. Where do they go first?
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
That's next week. London after that.
And Abu Dhabi is right on page with the whole amateur athletic competition thing. I'm sure there's no money grab going to Abu Dhabi.
So while you are giving them a spot on the Olympic team where they are favorites to win the gold medal. I think they are. But how could they?
Yeah, they are.
Okay,
They are.
so. But it's also kind of an ask at the same time where the guy who deserves the spot more and who would be better on the team is the guy who, as far as I know, doesn't have a brand new kid at home either that he's going to have to leave for a month. But no, you don't ask him. You go to Derek White.
And plus, Jaylen Brown is precisely the player that wants to play for USA men's basketball because he feels he's underappreciated and this could take him to the next tier of fame and make him a lot of money. He's precisely the guy that wants to play for USA basketball. The kind of guys that turn it down are Kawhi Leonard, that are older and have done it. Like, that's who it doesn't mean anything to.
Yeah.
Like, Steph Curry's turned it down twice. Like, Steph Curry's doing it because it's his last chance. But Steph Curry turned down the USA basketball one time because he was tired. So, like, that's the guys who turn it down. Jaylen Brown doesn't turn down the chance to be on a world stage. Jaylen Brown wouldn't turn that down ever. You shine at the international level. You just be associated with that team. That millions and millions and millions of dollars marketing. And your chances of going all NBA are completely, that's in your favor. Because that's just a popularity vote at a certain point when you get down to a certain level. And so if you were one of the guys at USA men's basketball, that's huge for you. I mean, everyone's wetting themselves over the way that kid played at the high school kid played.
Cooper Flagg
played in a scrimmage. Of course Jaylen Brown wants to be on this team. It raises, he doesn't have a major shoe deal. I mean, this gives him a major shoe deal. So it is odd and very much in the spirit of the Olympics. But I got to pick a team to root for.
And if Kevin
whoever the Grateful Dead doesn't like.
And if Durant doesn't end up being able to
That's what I
play.
was saying before, are they actually going to skip him again?
You have to, because you can't put 4 Celtics on that team. You can't do that.
No, that's true.
Because if I'm an NBA owner, I'm like, and I'm going to Nike, screw you.
Yeah.
Like you can't, I'm going to Nike. No way. You can't, if I'm an NBA owner, I'm calling BS on this whole thing. If you put 4 Celtics on the team, F you. No way. You share it. If I'm any other owner, no way.
That's true.
No way. You don't get Holiday and White. No way. No way do you add a 4th. I'm going BS. Fred Toucher, would go crazy.
And then maybe Brunson gets the call this time.
Oh, Jesus. And then so to just sacrifice that height at every position.
Yes.
It doesn't mean anything. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey,
we're doing it live.
This is Boston's home for sports. WBC-FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub.
A Beasley Media Group station.
Sports Hub headlines.
The Oakland A's scored 3 times in the top of the third inning off Nick Pivetta, and that was enough for a 5-2 win over the Red Sox at Fenway Park last night. Pivetta allowed 4 runs while pitching into the 7th inning to take the loss for Alex Cora, but it was the third inning that was the problem.
Overall, a good one. But in that inning, he'll talk to you about it. It's kind of like mechanics or whatever it was, he was off.
Pivetta did match a club record by striking out 8 consecutive hitters during that game. This 3-game series ends tonight with All-Star Tanner Houck getting the start. And basketball news, Team USA began its 5-game exhibition schedule with an 86-72 win over Canada late last night in Las Vegas. Anthony Edwards scored a game-high 13 points for the U.S. off the bench. As for the Celtics, Drew Holiday started. He scored 11. Jason Tatum played 17 minutes off the bench. He had 8. The team will fly to Abu Dhabi today and play a game against Australia on Monday. Kevin Durant missed last night. He's expected to miss at least the next couple of games with a calf strain. And the Celtics' Derek White was added to the team yesterday, replacing Kawhi Leonard, who has a sore knee. And after being eliminated in the group stage of the Copa America tournament, the U.S. men's soccer team fired manager Greg Berhalter yesterday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99 Restaurants. Visit the 9s the day after the Red Sox win, and kids will get a free meal from the kids menu with every adult entree purchased. You gotta love the 9s. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Here we go. Boom. I win. Boom.
Yeah.
Hit somebody.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Now, more Tuncher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey! It's got a little Billy Squire vibe to it. Where are we going on this trip? Eddie Trunk. This hour of Toucher and Hardy is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Eddie Trunk comes on later today, and he's going to have the 10 best bands not from the United States. And I'm not making that up. I'm not making that up.
Is he taking calls again?
It's 3 hours of phone calls where you list the 5 bands not from the United States. He might have done it yesterday, but I wasn't in the car during that time. Watch us on, it was my daughter's birthday, so I was doing some other stuff. Watch Toucher and Hardy every morning on YouTube. There's a lot of good people on there. They're fun, and I guess some of them have hooked up. All right, here's the deal. Jaylen Brown's on the Olympic team. Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Jason Tatum are. Vasco? I don't know who you are, but you're mad. You're calling me out on something. Who are you? You're on the air.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
So, I don't understand. Hey, Fred, how did you get so upset if there's 4 Celtics on the Olympic team?
I'm not upset about it. If I was an owner in the NBA, I'd be very upset about it. I'm rooting against Team USA regardless of who's on the team. But
Okay, that's a different story. But, okay, so here is my take. The Olympics are once every 4 years. That means you have to make it there, and only the best ones go. If all those Celtics are better than all those other guys,
they're not.
Which they are.
They're not.
Are.
No, they're not. Derek White's not better than is not better than Jalen Brunson or better than Kyrie Irving. He's not.
Yes, yes.
Tyrese Maxey, he's not as good as Tyrese Maxey. There's a bunch of guys he's not as good as. Derek White's not one of the best players in the NBA. And he's not one of the best U.S. players.
Because he's in the best team, and they have chemistry, and they are about 3 years ahead of everybody in the NBA this year.
Not individually.
So much better than everyone.
Then just have the Celtics play in the Olympics. So that might be interesting.
And you know what?
Give the Houseman some
that
chance.
Happened before. There was a team from a country that all the players are from the same team because they are the best ones. They have the chemistry.
What
country?
What country? Was it one of these small ones? What team was this? You tell me. Vasco?
I believe that was a soccer in the 70s.
Okay.
Netherlands, they were the best ones.
Soccer?
And, they can find themselves with their eyes closed. So, you know what?
Oh, the Netherlands never did that. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Oh, Dan's like giving me facts about England. They lost. Apparently, the Netherlands lost to England.
They lost in the
yesterday.
Euros. Yeah, they're not that good.
Yeah, screw the Netherlands.
Jesus.
I mean, with their calm nonviolence. ML, go ahead.
Yes. Hi, guys. First time caller. Listen, this all comes down, in my opinion, to I want to start an all blackball team in the NBA because out of the four major sports, it seems like to me that blackballish, if that's a word, goes on a lot. I look at Mark Jackson. I'm a big Laker fan. I look at Mark Jackson, who did a great job with Golden State, but somehow he's been blackballed from coaching. The Lakers should have got him a long time ago. They didn't. They still won't. No team in the NBA will hire Mark Jackson. Jaylen Brown is being blackballed. He's becoming a great player. As much as I can't stand the Celtics, they are a good tandem between Tatum and Brown. He deserves. You guys are right. He deserves to be on the Olympic team over both.
Listen, Mark Jackson's a weirdo, but Isaiah Thomas has been. Well, Mark Jackson's got his own thing, but Isaiah Thomas was blackballed off the '92 Dream Team. He was.
Yeah.
Jordan and Bird and everyone didn't like him, and he wasn't allowed on. He was blackballed. Jaylen Brown is being blackballed from this team. He's better than Derek White and Jrue Holiday. Again, I understand why Jrue Holiday is on the team. They wanted him. You need one glue guy. You needed Draymond Green and Shane Battier, and he was the guy. Derek White, there's no excuse. Derek White, you're replacing a tall player with a shorter player. Like, none of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense schematically. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that Derek White made it over Jalen Brunson or Kyrie Irving. It doesn't make sense. But certainly, but that makes more sense than not making it over Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is a forward. Jaylen Brown should replace Kyrie Irving. It doesn't make any sense. All right, Hardy. We got into a little discussion yesterday.
Very special episodes in sitcom history, and we brought up a couple of them. But, you know, every sitcom has had a special episode, it seems. If it stays on the air for, I would say, 5 seasons, not so much a thing anymore. I don't know if Everybody Loves Raymond ever did a very special.
I didn't know the one before this, but the theme to that was a theme to what show?
But I don't know what to do with those
Hey!
scrambled eggs.
Is that Mad About You, the one before?
Yeah. That was Mad About You. God, you know this.
Yes, I do.
But
It's
in the
gotta
70s,
finish.
in the 70s,
Let's be hanging there.
I mean, come on.
well into the 80s, it was a requirement. If you were on the air long enough, you were deemed an important part of society, and you had to do a special episode. It was seen as serving the public and the common good to address some real issues going on.
There was, you're not going to use this, so I can safely say, but there was an episode of Different Strokes where Nancy Reagan just comes and sits on the Drummond couch and she says, "Just say no."
Hell yeah.
Which is one of the most important slogans of all time because it stopped everyone from doing drugs. The White House had put their finger on the phrase that would save us from illicit substances. Just say no.
And it worked.
It
worked for you, worked for me.
Eradicated all of it.
Well, in fairness, they were not referring to alcohol.
Oh,
they were referring to illegal. They were talking about the devil's weed.
That's right.
That's what they were talking about, Hardy.
All right, so I'm going to give you a scenario, and you have to guess what show this took place on.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
usually pretty good at these, and I might have issues. I have in the past with the contest. I might question if these are very special episodes. I'm just warning you. This ain't going to go smooth if I don't do well.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
A main character was attacked at a construction site.
Well, there was an episode of the special of Very Brady Christmas. Mr. Brady is trapped under rubble of a poorly built construction site that he was trying to halt the building
Not
of.
not that type of an
Whoa.
attack, but not attacked by bricks.
Will Smith. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, there was a gun episode where a gun was pulled on him. Okay. The episode of was it the gun episode of Family Matters when there was a gun pulled on the girl and Urkel flipped out? Oh, Oh, geez. Attacked on a construct. What era of television?
1973.
Oh.
I would lean Brady then.
No, 73 Brady Bunch might have been off the air. This is not my
It's
wheelhouse.
a bit of a trick question because this show was known for its special episodes, one of them very famous that we talked about yesterday.
We talked about yesterday. They're famous.
The character's name is Gloria.
Oh, we talked about it.
We talked about the show yesterday.
I don't know. I don't know who it is. That's not my wheelhouse. 73, I wasn't born yet. Go ahead.
All in the Family, Gloria the victim.
I don't like walking by there. The workers are always whistling and making comments. I told Michael about it once, and he said, don't walk by there anymore. Well, it's Saturday. I thought I'd save myself a few steps, and then it happened. It happened
Gloria, did I tell you Mabel Hefner bought a new sofa?
It happened so fast I didn't know it was happening.
With little brass buttons.
I didn't even see the man coming at me. He jumped out from behind, he grabbed me, and he pulled me behind the fencing.
Only Mabel says it'll be too dark for the room. Oh, Gloria.
Throw a few laughs in there. She's trying to describe a sexual assault, and, you get a few chuckles.
I was unaware that episode existed.
Whoa.
The only episode of that show that I am aware of are two. One where the Jeffersons come over, and two when Mrs. Bunker herself was held at gunpoint. And I don't think the assault ever took place, but certainly there was the threat of it.
You're, of course, talking about Edith's 50th birthday party. And
Yes.
the reason why the intruder was allowed to enter the house is everyone was off preparing a party at a different location.
Just stay quiet, okay? What you gonna do? You ain't taking off your clothes, are you?
Yeah. Then I'm going to take yours off.
Wouldn't you like a cup of coffee?
Yeah, there's a lot of, for a show that was as universally praised and still is there's a tone deafness to these episodes that's a little off the mark.
Well, if you think that's bad, we're going to get all three out of the way. 3 special episodes from All in the Family history, including when, guess what character, maybe accidentally, somewhat on purpose, joined the KKK. Who from All in the Family joined the Ku Klux Klan?
Well, of course, Meathead.
That's right. It's a Meathead. No, Archie joined the KKK.
You joined the KKK?
Archie gets himself in a lot of big trouble on All in the Family.
That was the promo when Archie was hanging out at a bar and then inadvertently joined the KKK.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had some good points. I mean, they weren't all bad. I mean, come on.
All right, gentlemen.
Could happen to anyone.
In another sitcom, more in your era, a camp counselor put their hands on one of the characters in an inappropriate way.
It's just in Canteen Boy, is it?
No,
okay.
you can't even find that anymore. Canteen Boy doesn't exist on the internet.
It doesn't. They took it off.
It's really hard to find.
Oh, that's too
I
bad.
have seen it. It's funny, but you can see why people are like, eh. What era?
I'm going to say
It's a sitcom?
1990.
And it's a sitcom?
Yes.
Okay, because these are not my 73 and 90. We're getting at the end of my era. 73 is, I don't even know. I never watched All in the Family. 1990. Is it something like Blossom or something?
It is not Blossom.
I don't know. I don't know the episode. I feel very weak right now.
Mr. Belvedere, Wesley gets molested by a camp counselor.
Next,
See, Leslie, don't go with him.
an important Mr. Belvedere.
Might try to put his hands on him or something. What do you mean, Wes? That's what he did to me.
Who's laughing?
What the hell was going on at Mr. Belvedere?
Who's laughing at the end?
First of all,
clip?
how dare you say 1990 with Mr. Belvedere? That's 1986. I mean, let's not go crazy.
Oh.
But what was going on with Mr. Belvedere where they had to do this all the time? They had the kid with AIDS. They had the time where Wesley calls INS on Mr. Belvedere. And then they have an episode where he's just molested. and then they never reference it again. That's the kind of thing that haunts someone for the rest of their lives. There's much therapy. Like, what do you do the next episode after the kid was, like, at least on Different Strokes, it never got there, like with Arnold, right?
Right.
Like, it got there with Dudley, but everyone was saved in time. Like, what do you do after the molestation episode? You just go right back to doing the show as normal?
You do spit takes at the dinner table. That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they never address it again. It just happened.
That's right.
Like, isn't that something that if it happened in a show, that would be a theme of the show for the rest of that character's time on it? Like, that you could just go back to square one. Like, oh, it was one episode where that happened. And there was no fallout from
It's in
it.
the past.
Everything's fine now. It's been taken care of. The camp counselor's been fired. like you don't have to know
You'll
anymore.
never have to see him again.
Right. All right.
You could not do any of this now. Like if you were sexually assaulted like at a work site, like that it would just go away the next day, the next episode, like you would never address it again.
No, it doesn't get brought up. All right, so since I was...
It seems like there's some meat on that bone. Go ahead.
Since I was wrong about that show being from 1990, here's one that actually aired in 1990. The name of the episode is Shape Up, and it has to do with a certain someone getting ready for a pool party, but overdoes it trying to get themselves in shape for the pool party.
Well, that's a 90210 episode. That's Kelly Taylor.
The character begins a crash diet, overexerts herself exercising.
Oh, Jesus.
That's Kelly Taylor.
Oh, God. Oh, I know it.
You know this one?
I do. Okay. Oh, yeah. And they do it comedically. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I got it.
Go ahead.
I got it. Saved by the Bell.
No. That's I'm
Mrs.
so
Phantom.
excited. No. She's not exercising. She's trying to stay up so she can be in the group and get into Stanford. John.
Okay.
That's a completely different thing.
Sorry.
No. She was in a singing group that was about to get signed. And was trying to get into Stanford. There was too many cooks in the kitchen. Shame on you. I mean, we're spitballing here, and you're throwing out bombs. Oh, Jesus. I know exactly what it is. Heads up, it's a female.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds on this one.
Give me the year of the episode.
1990.
Is it Facts of Life?
Full House DJ needs to lose weight.
Yeah.
You don't understand. I don't like the way I look. I want to look like these models.
Why?
Because they're beautiful.
Well, so are you.
Oh, yeah? Well, show me one girl in here with this round face and these Charlie Brown cheeks.
I'm going to call into question if that's a very special episode.
Listed amongst...
Okay, that's borderline, but go ahead.
DJ, let's see, Stephanie notices the problem after DJ begins the crash diet, overexerts herself. DJ swears her to secrecy, but the secret is out when DJ collapses during a family outing to the gym.
Yeah, it checks a lot. She does. It's on the rowing machine. She does a lot of stuff. My daughter and I.
He's catching up quick.
Yeah, I knew what it was, but that's questionable. Very special episode because that's every episode of Full House.
Oh, okay.
I mean, every episode of House, the arc is nonsense, problem, solution. Like Bob Saget talks to one of the girls at the end of almost every episode. All right, hit me with one more.
Okay,
I got one more. One more.
It was an anti-smoking episode of this show. When did it air? You say you've watched every show, Fred. 1986. Blank and blank learn a sobering lesson about smoking cigarettes and chewing tobacco to elevate their freshman status in junior high. The name of the episode is Chewed Out, aired in 1986.
All right, so it's two high school freshmen.
Jamie and Reggie.
It's not just the 10 of us, because that was post-1986. Because I was at least 12 years old when that aired. You know how I know? Because I used it. So that was at least 88. Two guys use chewing tobacco.
It's a sci-fi premise to the entire sitcom. Or a technological premise to the entire sitcom.
Well, it's not small wonder. Hey! He's a freshman?
Anti-smoking.
Talk to you guys later, only not at school, got it?
Got it. But what's your rush? As long as you're here, let's rap and have a cigarette.
You guys smoke?
Hey, we've been smoking for years.
Guys, nobody cool smokes anymore. Cigarettes are kid stuff.
Well, it ended up being a very special episode. Nothing can touch the trifecta of All in the Family. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was very sobering. I was unaware of those two episodes.
Gloria attacked, Edith being attacked.
There was a lot of drama, like very upsetting drama on All in the Family.
Yes, that is the phrase, upsetting drama. Like, oh, this isn't fun to watch.
Like, I don't understand why they needed her to get assaulted at the construction site. Like, why that story needed to be told. Like, that's not something that happens every day. Like, you're going to do that and Edith getting held up at gunpoint? I mean, they're in Queens. Like, what's going on? New York City in the 70s was no Disneyland, but let's be honest. The chances two people in a family that happens to, being held at gunpoint in your own home and being dragged into a construction site.
Anyway in the world today takes everything you've got.
You've upset me, Art.
Well done.
At least I got Small Wonder.
You got Small Wonder.
I was unaware he was a freshman. He was a baby-faced freshman, if he was. But the way they were talking did speak of that generation.
With those tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
We'll be back in just a moment. Remember the thing from The Athletic I read you about the off-season from the hockey teams?
Minus 18.
We have the gentleman who wrote it. He'll explain to us why the Bruins are so low.
You're listening
Real quick, we were talking about this off the air. There are 3 episodes of Sitcoms, and this will just take 1 second, that will be in my head forever because of the time when they aired. When I was a young teen, there was an episode of Mr. Belvedere where the older kid, not Wesley, had a girl over that wanted to have sex with him, and he wouldn't have sex with her, and it drove me insane. I was like, what are you doing? Like, why won't you have sex with her? I was like 12, 13 when it aired. And then there was an episode of Growing Pains where the girl, the sister from Different Strokes, comes over and wants to have sex with Kirk Cameron. And he gets she takes him to his parents' room and no one's home. And he gets on their exercise bike, like as a joke, like to like not want to have sex anymore. And that drove me insane. And then the worst one, remember Brandon's girlfriend that set the float on fire?
Emily Valentine.
Emily Valentine. Well, she's on an episode head of the class where the dork Arvin, she comes over to his house and wants to have sex with him, and he won't have sex with her.
Why not?
And that, because she was known as being like a tramp, and like she came over and he was like really nice to her, and he didn't want to take advantage of her, but she's like desperately trying for him to have sex with her.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't do it. And I just will never forget those 3 episodes of television because they were baffling to me. They were like horror films to me. I was like, this would never happen. Like, I'm like, Arvin's got a hot girl over? Arvin?
Yeah.
She's like massaging his leg and stuff. You're like, oh my God. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm sitting here watching on TV. You taped this months ago, and I'm finished. And Arvin's still sitting there not doing it. And then the Growing Pains, she's dressed as Madonna in the Like a Virgin. How do you like that? Now let's get into hockey.
Where does Dom stand on all of this?
I don't know, Dom. I don't know how old you are, but
First pronounce his last name, then we'll see.
Yeah, he has a lot of last name going on. Dominik Luszczyszyn.
That was pretty close. It was bad but close. That's the best I can do it. It was like the right idea.
Yeah. My last name's Toettcher, so I have no sympathy for you. I've been called everything, but what are you going to do? You have to admit there's a lot of consonants going on in this thing. How do you pronounce it? You tell me.
Luszczyszyn. It's Polish. The C's and Z's do things that regular English don't. Like, this doesn't make sense. It's like a ch sound or whatever.
And I know you're Canadian because you just called ZZ, which I enjoy because you called the Rush song YYZ, which is what Kenny Lee calls it. I love it. He covers the NHL for The Athletic. You joined us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline, and you had an article that I enjoyed and I found interesting, and I was talking about it on the air, and we have this fella, John, on the show that's not so bright, and he couldn't just get on board with the whole thing.
He couldn't get on board the -18, which Fred and I immediately understood.
Well, I didn't feel the need to know the calculus that went into it, but the article by Dom is which NHL teams have improved the most this offseason. He rates all 32 teams. I love when articles like this are written. And as a hint, he has the Chicago Blackhawks as the number 1 team. And Dom, I'd say that probably the Blackhawks being on paper a bad team going into the offseason was an advantage for them during that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So go ahead.
It's a lot easier for bad teams to get better. It's a lot easier for great teams to get worse. That's just the way the salary cap works. So when you see the -18 for the Bruins, just look at their goal differential last year. They were +43. Take 18 away, and they're probably going to be like a +20 team. That's the estimate at this point, but this is hockey, and the range could be anywhere from 0 to +40 again, and we saw that.
Sure,
2 years ago with the Bruins.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm not a homer guy that's going to call in. I didn't call in the yelly. I'm interested in this because I thought it was interesting. You said the Bruins made some key bets on redistributing money and talent on the roster. I'm just not convinced to give them a stronger one. That all stems from the team giving up its regular season superpower, the best goalie tandem in the league. It makes sense to move on from Linus Ullmark when the Bruins had someone as good as Jeremy Swayman, but that doesn't mean it isn't a overall downgrade between the pipes, especially with the guy they got from Ottawa, I can't pronounce his name, coming the other way. So is that a regular season projection? that they're going to be a worse regular season team, or does that count the playoffs?
It's a little difficult because I think they'll be a worse regular season team where they might have to face someone more difficult in the playoffs. Like they might be fighting a wild card instead of maybe being the second or third seed, or they were fighting for the first seed last year. And in the playoffs, they'll be better because they'll have the one guy. They won't be doing the back and forth starts, but they might have a harder time getting to a great spot in the standings to get there, because having those two guys alternate and knowing you're always getting elite goaltending was, I think, one of Boston's biggest advantages the last 2 years. Having Swayman and Ullmark, they were able to rest, and it was sort of like in baseball. I'm not a baseball guy, but you have a lot of pitchers rotating and you get the best of them when they're well rested. I think Boston showed that the last 2 years, and I think Swayman can be a starter and eat up a lot of starts and do well. It's just they might be a worse regular season team because of it.
I agree with you in the superpower for the regular season aspect of the goaltending tandem, Dom. But it falls apart in the playoffs, as does the baseball metaphor, because the pitchers keep rotating in the postseason.
Shorten up the rotation.
Yeah,
you only play one goaltender.
Yeah, and that was, kind of my hope for the last off season, that they would move on from one of these guys and shore themselves up, to do something to replace Bergeron or Krejci. And I didn't think they did enough last season. They ended up, going further into the playoffs. And, I wonder, as they're constructing things now, if this is going to serve them, well, at least in terms of paying more attention to the team down the middle and trying to fix things there and saying, all right, well, the goaltending tandem was nice, but it doesn't do anything for us in the postseason when people really, really want you to perform.
Like, absolutely. I think the reason a lot of people over the last 2 years thought the Bruins weren't going to be as good as they were in each year is because the roster construction was really strange. And they have these two elite goalies. You can only put one in net at the time. After Bergeron and Krejci left, their center depth looked like some of the worst in the league. And you look at them on paper and you see a very winger-heavy team with two franchise goalies, and you think, I don't think this team is like good enough to win the division or really compete in the playoffs. And so they lost a lot of talent this summer, but I do think what they did made a lot of sense in terms of putting more pieces in the right places. I'm not a huge Elias Lindholm fan just because the last 2 years, ever since he moved away from Tkachuk and Gaudreau, he hasn't been able to really carry a line on his own. He'll probably fit really well with Pasternak or Marchand, but I'm worried about how much they spent on him. When he gets there, he'll be their best center and he can push Coyle down to a more appropriate role. Everyone fits better with Lindholm around, and the roster makes a lot more sense. It's just going to be probably a little worse just because of the talent they lost otherwise to make it happen.
Yeah, you say that they lost, gave up a lot of talent on the wings. Who are you referring to? Besides, DeBrusk is pretty good, but then it's Heinen, Van Riemsdyk, Maroon. That doesn't seem. You would quantify that as a lot of talent?
It's not necessarily a lot of talent. It's that who is stepping in for those guys aren't as good. And so that will, even if all those three guys grade out as average, if the three guys stepping in are below average, you're technically losing talent, even if it doesn't look that impressive. I personally like DeBrusk a lot. I think he's going to fit in well with the Canucks. Heinen has been underrated for the last 2 years. I think the Bruins got really fortunate that he was available so late last summer, and he should do with the Canucks as well. And you look at the winger depth now, I don't think it's anywhere near as strong as it was last season, and that's for the best because Lindholm makes their top six look a lot stronger, and that's going to be more important in the playoffs when they're facing Barkov and Bennett in Florida, or Matthews and Tavares in Toronto, or Point and Cirelli in Tampa. The Atlantic is built down the middle, and Boston was well behind the other three guys in this division.
Okay, so ultimately, do you, in your opinion, are the Bruins better set for success in the playoffs this coming season than they were this season?
I think so. I think, like, just in terms of fit, that is something that all this math I'm doing is going to struggle with to an extent. And Lindholm and Zadorov, the priorities were how they fit with the roster, and I think they'll do a lot better than I project them to. The Bruins have a fantastic culture. We've seen over the last decade plus that no matter what, they're a great team. They make things work. They tend to target the right players, and they just always have a good team. So I wouldn't doubt that all these decisions made are going to lead to value that can't be seen by this mathematical model right now. It's just on paper, it seems a little worse, but it makes sense why they did it. And I can definitely see a path where it makes them as good as last year or maybe even better.
All right. Well, that's what I wanted cleared up.
Thank you for doing that.
Dominik, how did we pronounce your last name again with the Z?
Luszczyszyn.
There you go.
Luszczyszyn.
Yes, read him on The Athletic, sir. Thank you. Your article is of great interest to us. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. So that settles it. They are better. All right.
Playoffs.
Playoffs are better.
Playoffs are better.
But they might have to play a better team.
Yes.
But that's how hockey goes. I'd much rather play a better team in the first round with a better, being more suited for the playoffs. Right?
As long as Swayman stays healthy, we're good.
Yeah. I look at. I don't think they're winning the cup. I think they could win 2 rounds if they went. If they went 6 against Florida this year, I think they could win 2 rounds.
If Lindholm is as advertised and is the 60 or 70 point guy that Fluto Shinzawa seems to think he will be, they're going to be a pain in the ass to play in a 7-game series.
I still can't believe Florida won the cup.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, until Edmonton got hot at the end, the Bruins had played them as tough as anyone. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
thin chain that hangs beneath his breastbone, in the middle of his breastbone, with a big steel crucifix on it.
Yeah.
Now, he's a handsome devil, and people are liking the way he looks. But someone said, Fred, you crack me up every day. Well, I thought the kid was Mr. T Jr. It looks fine. You made that chain sound way bigger on the air. You made it sound like he was a SoundCloud rapper. Tyler Milliken's cousin's chain is ridiculous. The idea that there's not a groundswell of people, and this hasn't gotten 5 million agreeing head nods. I mean, how many followers does the Toucher and Hardy account have? At Toucher and Hardy. It's even up at Fred Toucher. It's 26,000. There should be 30,000 people going, Fred, on the nose. You did the right thing. Tell him to take off that chain. He's got a Hawaiian shirt on, unbuttoned, 3 buttons unbuttoned, and it's hanging right by where the shirt opens. That's a 3-button length chain, and it's not made of gold. I didn't call him Mr. T. He's like a carny version of Mr. T. This is a necklace you would win at a fair. Which, by the way, I know someone who on Facebook took their nephew to a thing in Cincinnati called The Ark, which is an amusement park revolving around a depiction of Noah's Ark.
Oh,
hey.
Including a zoo. It's
I was going to say, they got to have animals there.
They do. It's a zoo and a giant, and it's like Bible recreation. Recreate the story of Noah. Historically accurate, it says.
Is there a depiction of Mount Ararat? Like on some kind of like garbage pile, sodded over and said, "Here's our
like
Mount
Brighton, the ski slope where where I used to go, which was actually a garbage dump." I don't know, but it was an ark.
Okay, so
but I'm telling you, I've never been more disappointed at the internet. As much as you came through on Tony P, who's slowly dying on it online.
But the fact that it's slowly happening is the most fun of all.
Tony P's losing a lot of momentum.
It's not quick. You get to see that really slow, methodical drop.
Tony P's not going to be a thing in like 6 months.
He's done. Yeah.
But the one, I mean, I can't. I can't believe that there's really people going like that's appropriate, that he should be wearing that. I thought I was doing him a favor. Tyler Milliken's cousin, I take it all back. Apparently, that's perfectly fine to wear.
Look, he has something for you.
Will you let him come in and
going to
give you
bring
the
it
thing?
in here.
Come on.
He's going to bring it in here right now.
We threw that away during the first hour. Let him. He's
Tyler
got the
Milliken's
bag.
cousin, please come into the
got the
studio.
tissue paper in the bag. It's well presented. Give him a chance.
All right, Tyler Milliken's cousin. All right, get on.
Look at that.
All right, you hand me the bag and get on the microphone. Tyler Milliken's cousin.
He's wearing a Carhartt T-shirt today with a necklace on the outside of the T-shirt.
Can you get him on YouTube?
In defiance to
Just
what?
put YouTube camera on him. I don't want it on anyone else. So you can go to youtube.com/ search 98.5 The Sports Hub.
I mean, that's a good 6, 7, 8 inches below the T-shirt.
I mean, the idea that this is not a universal agreement with me is really disappointing. I thought I was doing the right thing. I honestly thought I was doing the right thing.
But good for you for not tucking it in this morning and leave it out blazing. He goes
to Emerson. The kid's got instincts. He knows to leave it out. He knows what the people want.
All these people who are chiming in on Instagram. Look at the YouTube channel right now, and I think the open collared shirt took away from the.
See, I think it adds to it.
Looking at it on the screen right now, Fred, it just looks.
No, it's ridiculous. But the thing is that it looks ridiculous in that shirt. It's almost like to scale, right? Like when people put something next to a penny, or put it next to a pen, like so you can actually get scale. It's 3 buttons. Tyler Milliken's cousin is a thin kid, not a short man, and it's 3 buttons on his shirt, and it hangs down. It's like in between his nipples. Don't show those like your cousin. Don't debase yourself, Tyler Milliken's cousin.
All right, so what have you brought, Fred? What is this?
All right, it's in a Target bag.
Is his microphone on?
No, I'm sorry. That's my fault. All right, go. Tyler Milliken's cousin,
Now,
go ahead.
I was, Fred, the other day I heard you talking about how it hangs between the 2 peaks, and, I figured I'd get you something since you admired mine so much.
Oh, boy.
I figured I'd get you a little something more to scale for you, so
Oh,
go in
good.
That, you should go in that
Good.
bag and
Yes.
check that out.
All right, Tyler Milken's cousin has broken every
baby.
rule of HR. And he's giving me a religious symbol, which I could really complain about Tyler Milken's cousin.
It's tied so it'd fit or it'd be
Well,
too
it
low.
is. It is a almost like a dog chain with a big anti-religion Tony Iommi style.
Look at that.
Big crucifix that you've made from aluminum foil.
It's like an aluminum paper, like aluminum, plastic. Yeah.
Well, Tyler Milliken's cousin, you've made a mockery of your religion.
You're welcome.
Put this right back in the bag.
That was the big reveal.
I told you. Tyler Milliken's
Like a
cousin.
7-year-old put together some costume jewelry.
Yep.
Because I got something for the show.
Tyler
That was
Milliken's
it.
cousin.
Yep.
You don't turn your back on your religion like John did. Don't go there. Don't use cheap gags.
Well-
you keep that thing on yourself.
A little too late at this point, though. Now.
All right. Thank you, Tyler Milliken's cousin.
I'll have you know the YouTube numbers have spiked about 30% since he sat down.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Tyler Milliken's cousin, you're eye candy. I'd hate to tell you. Maybe television for Tyler Milliken's cousin. Why keep that puss off the why use it an audio medium when that could be visual?
Just take those old highlights off the shelf. I'll sit and watch them by myself. Today's QBs ain't got the same soul. I like that old time TB12.
Tyler Milliken's cousin. All right, Tyler Milliken's cousin. Thank you.
Of course.
How much did you spend on that? Was that stuff laying around the house?
I'd like you to guess. Give it a little guess.
I don't know. I don't think you bought anything. Zero?
Around $6.
All right. Well, good for you. You're invested in the show. You're invested in your future.
Of course.
All right. Thank you, Tyler Milliken's cousin.
I remember all my life raining down red, blue, and white. Shadows of a man, a face mask through the pocket, throwing in the night. The night goes into morning, just
All right, there you
another
go.
parade.
Thank you. We will be back with John Karalis. He can tell us why Jalen Brown did not make the U.S. Olympic team.
Yo, Brady.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Ready to wake you up no matter where you
Or
are.
who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Follow us at Toucher and Hardy or at Fred Toucher to find Tyler Milliken's chain, which is, even on YouTube, I was told by Hardy, they were saying it's not that big a deal, which is just wrong. Maybe they were overwhelmed with the comedy of the gimmick chain that he made. Maybe they were bent over laughing, and there's too many tears in their eyes.
It's a very large chain you got there, Fred.
Yeah.
Very big.
He made a big crucifix.
Yeah.
Seemed kind of anti-religion.
You want
honestly.
a big chain? I got a big chain for you.
I felt guilty putting it in the trash. I felt like I was maybe sinning. I honestly did have mixed feelings about putting it in the trash.
Oh, you should have put it up front with all these knicknacks in front of the...
I don't think that's overly appropriate.
No,
it's really not.
Probably not. Yeah, that's probably, you're right.
Like, I think if I gave you... Imagine if I gave you, like, a big fake Jewish star. Like, I don't know how that would fly.
Well, I told you how that would fly.
Papier-mâché Star of David. Would you just throw it in the trash? Well, John probably would.
Well, John's throwing the whole religion in the trash. John Karalis is the Celtics beat writer for the BostonSportsJournal.com. And you say, why are we having him on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline? Well, because 3 Boston Celtics are on USA's Olympic basketball team, and one of them is not Jaylen Brown. There is talk that is, including from Jaylen Brown on Twitter, that it's the fault of Nike. I've heard that from Stephen A. Smith. I've heard that from other people nationally. Derek White is on the team. Jrue Holiday's on the team. Jason Tatum's on the team. John Karalis. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you? I am not on the team.
No, you are not, but Jaylen Brown is not. Why?
I honestly, I think Derek White is probably the better fit.
Why? Why for Kawhi Leonard is he the better fit?
Okay, so there's 2 things here. If you're doing a switch of like, Kawhi is out, well, yeah, then Jaylen is the closest facsimile to Kawhi that you're going to find. I don't think Kawhi should have been there in the first place. So I think Kawhi was kind of there as like a courtesy of some sort.
Okay.
The talk for a while since Kawhi's inclusion has been, if Kawhi can't play, Derek White is in line to replace him.
I was aware of that. I know that was the talk, but when that happens, you have to admit that I understood why they put Jrue Holiday on, and I've used the example of Shane Battier or Draymond Green. Like, you get like a defensive big-time guy. I understand. Yeah. Like one, right? Like, but then you have 3 Celtics and not Jaylen Brown. Like, A, they have to know what they're doing. And B, it just doesn't make sense if I'm constructing a team to take 3 players from a team, but not the second best one.
No, I know, but I don't think that's the discussion that should be had here. It's not that you take the top 3 players from the team. That's how Team USA got in trouble in the first place, because you feel like, oh, well, if you're going to take a 3rd player from the Celtics, it's got to be Jaylen Brown, when Derek White is kind of like the connective tissue type of guy that team needs. They have a ton of scorers, like, and it's not a disrespect to Jaylen Brown. He's the better player. He's the Finals MVP, Conference Finals MVP, no doubt. But like, they've got Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Tatum, LeBron. They got a bunch of scorers already. And even though Jaylen had his best facilitating season, Derek White makes sense with these guys because you can kind of put him in there as a guy that can be an overflow shooter, a lot like the role that he played in Boston. If you leave him, if you double off of him, then he can make you pay. He can find the right guys. He's got an incredible processing power to kind of figure out the flow of the game and who needs the ball and when. So I understand what Grant Williams was saying. Not Grant Williams, Grant Hill. Sorry, Freudian slip. Grant Hill was saying last night in the broadcast where, you're building a team and you're trying to put the best team forward. And a Derek White, considering the makeup of this team, you need a guy to get all these other guys the ball. You don't need another high-level scorer like Jaylen Brown.
All right, how much is Derek White going to play?
Well, he'll play some. I mean, he'll play. He might start some of these games. So
you think that Derek White's going to start games? Interesting.
He
started last night? Who were the starting five last night?
The starting
last night it was Curry. It was Curry, Booker, Holiday, LeBron, and Embiid. And Embiid was garbage.
Yeah, Embiid did not play well. No.
So he could easily slot in for Holiday in some respects, or he could come off the bench and anchor, not anchor, but like be the the facilitator next to Anthony Edwards. Like they could decide that Curry and Holiday are the two guys, like the scorer and the defender next to him, and then Edwards and White could be the pairing where you have a scorer and a defender kind of facilitator next to him. So it could go either way, but I could see Derek White starting for sure. And that, I think that could get him up to, what are you going to end up playing with these guys? 20 minutes a game. So it's not going to be a ton of time. It's going to be kind of like competitive summer workouts for these guys.
But starting Olympic games, like games in the Olympics, you think that Steve Kerr would do that? You don't think that with the veterans on this team that might be an issue?
If Durant is healthy, there's no way that happens. In my opinion, John.
Okay, maybe not. But like you could start. Like the guy was a starter on a championship team. I don't think anybody's going to sit there and be like, "Why is he starting?" If you say,
I absolutely do.
You have guys like Tyrese Halliburton sitting there. No, I'm sorry. I disagree with you.
Yeah, and if I'm like Jalen Brunson and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like they're starting Derek White. Like if they start Derek White and lose,
yeah, but we're getting caught up. We're getting caught. Like Jalen Brunson is not the right pick for the
I
Team
understand
USA.
that, but Jalen Brunson. Do you think Jalen Brunson's upset he's not on the team?
Probably.
Yeah, so
I'm sure a lot of guys are upset.
Yeah,
that they're not
I understand
because
that
they have egos and they're all really good.
Well, that's the point I'm making though about starting. Is that like?
But there's only 12 spots. Like.
That's right. That's why it's so bizarre that Derek White is one of them. Like Derek White is not one of the 12 best players from the United States. He'd tell you that.
But this is exactly what Team USA has made the mistake in the past by saying we're not going to take a Derek White type, even though he's exactly the connective tissue that you need on a team full of superstars. You take a team with 12 slots and you got 9 guys that are megastars. You need 3 role players on there to kind of be like, I'm not going to shoot. I'm going to do these other things that we need and pass. And I'll shoot when I'm wide open, but I'm going to do the other things. This is why Team USA has had their struggles here and there, is because too many, to use the current terminology, too many alphas and not enough guys that can sit there and be like, I am going to sit back and look at the game and be like, okay, LeBron's got it. Anthony Edwards does not. I'm going to run this because this is the defensive matchup that I need to pick apart. No one's processing the game like that. And even last night in that exhibition, you still saw guys who are like, oh, geez, I can't find a guy to pass to. Well, time to go ISO. And they had their problems. That's why they're turning the ball over a bunch. So, yeah, I get the concept of it's Team USA and you take the top 12 players in the league, and when one of them can't play, you just go next and who's 13 and who's 14. But Team USA has gotten into trouble in the past doing that, and I think this is actual team building at play.
Yeah, but okay, but you're not. But again, you're replacing a tall. You're replacing a tall forward with a shorter guard. And you're not replacing a skill set, but you say Kawhi Leonard should be on the team anyway. What about the talk of it being Nike? And Nike has something to do with putting this team together. Their Nike swooshes on their jerseys.
Sure.
What do you make of that?
That there certainly could be some level of that, especially because Jalen wore Nikes throughout the season, but took the swooshes off the shoes and had them kind of like redone so there were no swooshes on the shoes. I mean, he was wearing Kobe Bryant sneakers for, I think, most, if not all of the season. But, I'm sure Nike is not happy that Jalen was taking their logo, their branding off of his feet. And that's a personal decision. Jalen did it for his own reasons. He's perfectly within his rights to do that. But I'm sure that if Nike had any kind of say, they might have been like, we're not big fans of Jaylen Brown. And he's been critical of them as a company for their business practices. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be naive and be like Nike had nothing to do with it. I'm sure Nike had, like, if they had any sort of say that Jalen wasn't going to be on their list of players.
Okay, do you like the way the team is constituted right now? You talked a lot about the makeup, and you don't want too many shooters. You want some guys out there to play defense and facilitate. So are you good with the way it's constructed right now?
Mostly. I don't like Embiid on this team. I think he slows things down. I don't think he can handle the speed. This is his first taste of FIBA basketball. And he's hurt. So I would probably have, somebody else on the team, even I'm going to say Draymond Green, but like a type that can kind of facilitate, maybe not exactly Draymond, but somebody else. But mostly I think, let's just why not just throw the Celtics out there? They just won a championship.
Okay.
You want to say world champions? Let's go. Prove it.
What if Kevin Durant doesn't end up playing? Who would you replace him with?
Oh, geez, I have given that no thought. I mean,
come on, Karalis.
Are they going to give that? Are they going to give that to Jalen and put 4 Celtics on there?
That's when I step in.
Not.
If I'm an owner of an NBA franchise, I'm like, you cannot put 4 Celtics on this team.
No, you can't.
You can't. Then the NBA's got to get involved, because I truly believe that Jaylen Brown's not on this team because of Nike. And I think that Nike said that he's on a no play list and you can't put him on. And I think you're right, and I think I'm right. I think the reason they picked Derek White was for the reasons that you laid out, but I think the reasons they didn't pick Jaylen Brown at any point during this process was because of his problems with Nike.
I think if Durant can't play, maybe it's not Brunson, maybe it's Tyrese Maxey or something like that.
Well, you put Tyrese Maxey on, and then it wouldn't even be controversy.
Yeah, that's a guy who plays fast. And more to what John was saying, I saw a little bit of this game last night, and you were saying about how iso ball ruins this team. That's all Embiid did last night.
Well, what's he going to do?
Try to set in isolation and failed miserably.
Yeah, well, what's he going to do? I mean, he's old and can't run. I mean, what's he going to do? All right.
That's another guy that they I don't know why they even pushed to have let him. He could have played for France. Let him go ruin Team France.
Yeah, he's not from the United States. I don't understand what's going on.
He's from Cameroon, but
yeah.
I don't know what this.
He just became a citizen last year. Congratulations. Yeah, you're U.S. eligible.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, but then you got guys playing for the Israeli baseball team that, like, just because they went there one time. I don't know. All right, John Karalis, even though the baseball's not in the Olympics, but you know what is? Breakdancing.
Sweet.
Just in time for it to be a phenomenon.
Only 35 years late.
Yeah, something that was popular when I was 10, and now I'm 49, and it's in the Olympics. John Karalis, thank you. Thank you for coming on. It was interesting to hear that point of view. Read him in the BostonSportsJournal.com. Thank you so much for the time.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate it. Jaylen Brown's not on here because of Nike.
Yeah, I agreed with you at 6. I agree with you now.
Yeah.
It was obvious, and that tweet I read earlier had a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
he
really pissed them off, and it's a bit of a shame that we live in such a cynical world that the Olympics that was, set up to be a competition for amateur athletes and
pure.
It's kind of the charm of it.
Pure, and it's not.
And then it was the dream team, which was cool once. And then now it's not cool anymore. Now I want the USA to lose in basketball. Like I do. I want them to lose. It's far more interesting if they lose.
See, that's the thing. This kind of issue is hanging over this team. The roster they have constructed, talent-wise, is probably the best since the Dream Team this year.
In terms of legacy, because it's the first time they've had Curry.
Yeah. If everything works the right way, you could have 9 or 10 Hall of Famers on this team. But when all is said and done,
NBA Hall of Famers,
yes,
they're all Hall of Famers
on this team.
Except there's a chance Holiday makes the Hall of Fame. There's a chance White makes the Hall of Fame. The NBA Hall of Fame, I bet you, John, there's a chance all these guys make the Hall of Fame. There's no question about it. The Basketball Hall of Fame lets anybody in.
But I understand what you're saying.
I hesitated with Bam and Holiday. Those are the two that I was
in terms
deciding.
of
you don't think Bam Adebayo is going to go to the Hall of Fame? You're out of your mind. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame right when he retires. Oh, I guarantee you, John.
Okay.
Drew Holiday's been on 2 NBA championship games. He's in the Hall of Fame. Dude, that Hall of Fame lets in. The classes are huge. They let everyone in. It's ridiculous. The Basketball Hall of Fame sucks. Oh, yeah, they're all getting in. Derek White could get in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely he could. 100%. And I'm not being sarcastic.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the only one that I think is a borderline guy, is Derek White. They're all getting in. Halburn's getting in, Embiid's getting in, Edwards is getting in, Durant's getting in, Davis is getting in, Curry's getting in, Booker's getting in, Adebayo's getting in. They're all getting. Holiday's getting in. Those are no doubters. Tatum's getting in. That's no doubt. Derek White, I don't know. But Derek White, I'd lean yes, especially making the USA basketball team if they win another championship.
The overall point is this roster, the talent on it is really something else.
It's outstanding.
It's outstanding.
Well, I
it
hope
is
they
the
lose.
best team since '92.
It would be great if they lost. That would be fun. And I hope they lose to like some small country. Like
South Sudan, you want that? You want the upset there?
Like you wouldn't? That would be awesome.
It would be a hell of a story.
And I'm still on board with I wouldn't keep Jaylen Brown off this squad because of him being the 4th Celtic on the squad.
I wouldn't if I was USA Basketball, but I would if I was the NBA because if I own another team, F you.
They've already shown that politics factors into this. I would bet Maxey would get added before Brown now.
And it's good for the good of the NBA, too. You can't have 4 Celtics on that team.
How much does that really benefit the Celtics, though, by having another one of their players on the Olympic team?
Not so much does it benefit the Celtics by having the other guy on the team as much as it hinders another team because another team might go, well, put one of my guys on the Olympic team so I get that press. Like, I can't sell out my building. Give me a summer showcasing one of my guys. Like, I want to be able to advertise that we got a guy on my team that's on the USA basketball team. Think about it. If you guys were owners, too, you wouldn't like it. You would raise a fuss. If you absolutely would. You wouldn't be smart if you didn't.
If I was another team's owner saying, all right, you've made your point. You got 3 members of the World Championship team there, and all things being equal, it's not going to hurt the team by not adding a 4th guy.
Yeah, now it's
add my guy.
Yeah,
I can see your point.
Like you guys aren't going to lose the gold medal based on who this guy is.
And if Team USA were to come back and say, come on, we already messed this up by not picking him twice. He's the conference finals and the finals MVP. I would say that's your fault for not picking him the 2 times before.
You should have done this a while ago.
You should have done it 2 times ago, or you should have done it instead of Derek White.
I would be like, you can't have 4 guys from the same team because it's unfair for the marketing purposes. And ultimately, this is what it's all about.
Karalis has dug in, though. He's like, no, Derek White's the better choice.
I get why he's saying that, but I also don't think that's why Derek White's on the team. I think that's why they put Derek White on the team instead of Jaylen Brown, but I don't think that Jaylen Brown's not on this team for that reason, right? Because they could have put Brunson or Irving or Maxey on the team. They put Derek White on the team because they think he fits, but not over Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown pissed off Nike. There's no other question about it. It's the same team. It's the guy from the same team. I mean, it's a slap in the face to Jaylen Brown. It is. It is. He takes it that way. I'm not speaking for him. He takes it that way. You would too. All I can do is put myself in the shoes of these people. And if I was Jaylen Brown, I would think, what the hell are you doing? This sucks. And I'd be pissed at Derek White, too. I couldn't be mad at him, like, individually, but I'd be pissed kind of, like, around him. Like, what are you doing? Like this sucks. Like, how was your summer?
Spot.
Yeah, how was your summer? Jerk off while I'm sitting here. All right, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the
are Toucher and Hardy. You can email us JON at 985thesportshub.com, Hardy at 985thesportshub.com, and all these things. Dave, who emails us a lot, says about the Tyler Milliken's cousin. He wears a ridiculous chain that people are really enabling him about. It lays between his nipples. I mean, it is a very large chain, and it's made of anything but a precious metal. It's not good. But then he gave me this like costume one. But then I put it in the trash, and I even felt bad putting it in the trash because it is in theory a religious emblem, even though he just made it. It was very bizarre. But Dave says he's Catholic. He says it's a myth that myth has it that if a religious item is not blessed by a priest, it means nothing can be trashed. However, my dad had a crucifix over his bed, and it's over my door because I figure I keep my option open. Don't burn bridges. And that's the thing is that like that's why like if I'm in New Orleans and stuff, I won't go in any of those like voodoo shops because I don't want to mess with that mojo. Just in case, I don't want to get into those arts. You know what I'm saying?
So you stay away from them.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in. If you guys go in, I would go no. I wouldn't do it.
Huh.
You really wouldn't go into a voodoo shop? Like even a kitschy one in New Orleans or something?
It's still weird. Like, I mean, you're still working at a voodoo shop. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you spend 8 hours a day in a voodoo shop, I don't think that you just a kid off the street.
So you think those mystical powers like invade your body through osmosis just by stepping inside?
No, but I don't know. But there has to be some kind of benevolent force or some kind of order to the universe. There has to be something beyond our understanding. And I don't want to start messing around with people and things that are of the dark arts. But and the thing is that I wouldn't enjoy it. So like, do I think that if I walked into a store that I would be cursed? Yeah, no, of course not. But I'm not. You couldn't say with all certainty I wouldn't be. I mean, you really couldn't. You're every bit of logic in you tells me that I wouldn't, but you don't know I wouldn't. And also, I don't want to talk to the people that work there, and I wouldn't enjoy it.
If you're nice to them, I'm sure they'll be nice
So,
to you.
like, it's not like something like really fun that I'm like, no, I'm staying away from. Like, you're not offering me like a carrot at the end of the stick. Like, there's nothing for me to chase. Like, do you want to go in this dumb shop? No. Why? Well, I don't want to go in anyway, and why mess with it if I don't have to? Now, because I'm only human. If you said, oh, in this shop, there's all this really cool stuff that you're super into, but there's some voodoo stuff in there as well. Now this is a conversation. But do you want to go into some voodoo shop? No. Like if I was in Jamaica and they were like, or wherever, I don't know, wherever you would have a voodoo shop. And that's more Rastafari. I guess Haiti. If I was ever in Haiti, I suppose I would be doing something very philanthropic. So maybe I'd be okay. I'd be hanging out with Mitch Albom. Joe, who emails us a lot, says, the tragedy of these 80s sitcoms that we talked about, even though Hardy went 73 on us and shared very disturbing stuff from All in the Family. It was Tracy Gold who played Carol Seaver. She was a special episode in and of herself, and she almost died trying to get thin. That is true. And I remember seeing her and thinking she was very attractive, and when she got really thin, she was scary to look at. Yeah, Tracy Gold played the sister on Growing Pains, and the sister was supposed to be like this like unattractive dork, but she was good looking, and it tortured her inside. Also, Freddie, I used Just the 10 of Us as well as the oldest sister and the sister who was the girl from the original Nightmare on Elm Street. The sister who was on Nightmare on Elm Street was not attractive on Just the 10 of Us. The redhead stole the show. And the blonde that you're referring to was in second place. He goes, were you by any chance fans of the Goldbergs, which is show set in the 80s? My children and I, when they were young, watched every episode of the Goldbergs until they got too old for it.
I got an email yesterday afternoon. I almost printed out because I wanted to make sure I had it today, but I found it. It's from Joe. Apparently we were talking about sitting on your own testicles yesterday and how that's something that happens to people. Joe says, sitting on your balls sucks, but twisting them is worse due to sudden lateral movement. I also ruptured my testicles skateboarding as a kid when I human popsicled myself. This is my favorite part. Pee is not stored in the balls. It's more like a clear vacuous fluid. I think he means viscous, like what Xenomorph bleeds in Alien. So thank you, Joe. That's where I thought urine came from. I thought urine was stored in the testicles, and when you expelled it out of your body, that's where it came from. Thank you, Joe, for setting us all straight on that notion.
Yeah, speaking of religion, Hardy was at a very religious school where nothing was explained.
I like that Joe went out of his way. So you know, guys, if you ever rupture your balls, you think pee's going to come out? It's not. It's not where it comes from.
No. That is
Thank you, Joe.
That is a mystery that is unfolded. That's like when people say, like, why you said penis on the air, and you're like, yeah, like they exist. There's no denying it. They do. I mean, we may all want to deny it, but it's true. Go ahead, Jonathan.
This is from Thomas, who said, I would wear Tyler Milliken's cousin's chain over Freddie T's sweatsuits. We've been in agreement a lot as of late, but this is where I differ.
Yeah, okay, but that's an either or. I'm not saying my sweatsuits are cool. I'm saying that Tyler Milliken's chain is unacceptable. They're two different things. You can feel the same way about both. I thought I was doing Tyler Milliken, as did you guys, Tyler Milliken's cousin, a favor by saying, don't wear that chain. Mm-hmm. First of all, it's not even worth anything. Like, it's not, jewelry is supposed to be a display of, like, things of value, correct? Isn't it inherently? Or like some kind of sacred,
or something that's just really pretty. I love your earrings. You know, they're so pretty. Oh, you know what? And they're cheap. I got them at Target. Yeah. You know, that's what it either has to look really nice or, yes, be a display of wealth.
I think that men's jewelry inherently is a display of wealth because it's watches or like really audacious rings. Right. And I think that those are, I mean, every watch is a display of wealth. If you pay over a certain amount of money, it's a display of wealth. I mean, I have a Rolex. I bought it for the symbol of the Rolex. I mean, that's specifically why I bought it, when I bought it. Tyler Milliken's chain does none of that. Or it would be like sacred beads or a sacred thing. I suppose maybe his communion necklace, he feels that way. But why would his family give him something so large and not something a little more palatable to the human eye?
Yeah.
It's almost like his family was giving him a curse while they gave him communion. You were going to be forever have this confirmation. You'll have this albatross literally around your neck for the rest of your life.
Dave says, I love and respect Johnny Wall game with the fire of 1,000 suns, but what the hell, man? Your job is to pay attention to sports, and you just said Kyrie is a much better player than Jalen Brunson. What the hell? That was such a Dickerson take. Look at some numbers.
Dickerson.
Brunson is entire worlds better than Kyrie in every single aspect of the game, which is why he almost made first team All-NBA. Kyrie is a damn mirage at this point. Stop buying the hype. Other than that, the show is phenomenal as usual.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I would have taken Brunson over Irving too. But at least it's a debate, which was the only point I was getting to.
The thing about Kyrie, though, is if he decides to turn it on, like he used to.
That's why I said take the personality
for the
out
prime
of it.
time, for the cameras. Now, he couldn't do it in the finals, which may signal, the true end. But you remember, Isaiah Thomas would show up, really big time moments, and like when a national game, TNT game, he would have those games. I think Kyrie has enough of that, or I would consider that he's got enough of that left in him on an international stage, and also, frankly, he could confound international players like Euro guys who are not necessarily used to playing against him. He still has the ability to score in ways, or at least he did right up until the NBA Finals, which would confound some opponents.
But
having
Brunson
said all that, I'd go with Brunson.
Brunson just did it, though. Brunson just did it in the playoffs. Brunson was by far the best player on the Knicks in the playoffs.
Kyrie did it in the playoffs, too, right up until he didn't.
Not like Brunson, though. Brunson was having 50-point games and stuff. Like, Brunson was being historic. He was carrying that team.
You knew where the ball was going, and he was still scoring. And the Celtics, at the end of the season, they played the Knicks, and Celtics are an incredibly good defensive team. And Brunson was borderline unguardable at times during that game. All I'm saying is, over the history of his career, Kyrie has put together a bigger sample than Brunson.
Well, there's
has.
no
Brunson-
question about
Brunson
that.
has been better as of late, but Kyrie has the experience. But you can't take personality out of it. And Hardy made a very good point. Him not showing up during the finals when he needed to, and especially not showing up when he played here in Boston when he needed to, specifically may mean that he's jumped the shark.
When we were arguing about it, well, not when we were debating it, I made that point too, is that, yeah, he failed in the finals. Like, he was terrible.
Fred must be smoking some special kind of crack if he thinks Bam Adebayo is going into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, I would make a big wager on that.
The only way this happens if he makes a wrong turn on the pike, needs to use the bathroom in Springfield.
All right.
Good line.
Who made the NBA
Alexander.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame 2022. Let's just go to 2022. The NBA Hall of Fame. Who made it in 2022? All right, let's go into it. The class of 22 in Shime.
Well, just go to
enshrinement.
last year. Just go to this past year.
Del Harris, Manu Ginobili, Tim Hardaway. Go ahead. Who won? Who made
All right,
it last
this year you had Chauncey Billups and Vince Carter. Okay, you can see that. But the rest of them.
Chauncey Billups,
Yeah.
Bana Adebayo is been as good as Chauncey Billups was. Go ahead. If not better. Go ahead.
Michael Cooper.
All right, come on.
Walter Davis. Bo Ryan, who's a head coach at Wisconsin. I mean, Charles Smith. I mean, I'm making your point.
No,
for you
yes,
here.
you are. Yes.
Well, everybody gets in. It's that's the thing about the
Michael
basketball.
Cooper is a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame. Those of us who remember him playing
He's
against
Derek
the Celtics
White.
in the 80s,
He was a defensive guard.
I would argue he's not as good as Derek
I
White.
would make the same argument, but he on a championship team, he was the defensive stopper at guard. And that's why I said Derek White could make the Hall of Fame. Bam Adebayo is for sure making the NBA Hall. It's not an NBA Hall of Fame. The Basketball Hall of Fame.
Basketball Hall of Fame.
Everyone makes that Basketball Hall of Fame. Everyone does.
Can you tell the story of basketball without Bam Adebayo?
No, that's not the point here. The point. It's not, the point.
Not
at
in the
all.
Basketball Hall of
That's
Fame.
not the point of all.
Everybody gets in from all over the world. The best high school player in Argentina, same Hall of Fame as Michael Jordan.
That's correct.
They all go in
That's
the same
correct.
place. Yeah.
Great high school. Hurley's dad, Danny Hurley's dad, in the Basketball Hall of Fame for being a great high school coach in New Jersey.
Chris Bosh is in the Hall of Fame. I'm just putting random years in. I mean, every year there's someone who Bam Adebayo is better than.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 2021 was 2020 was a good year.
Yeah, there are occasional good years, but more often than not, you get Michael Cooper.
Sidney Moncrief.
Great defensive
Bobby
player.
Jones, Jack Sikma.
Yeah, I remember Jack Sikma.
Yeah, I do too. He wasn't as good as Bam Adebayo.
I have to give it to you. I do.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to. I don't want to, but I have to.
He is for sure going to make the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it.
Getting back to my overall point, which was this roster of this USA team is not on a par with, but right the next level down from the Dream Team.
Did you say Chris Bosh is in the Hall of
Yes,
Fame?
he is.
Alongside Bill Russell.
Yes.
Well, Bill Russell's in it 100 times. Bill Russell's in it as a coach.
Jerry West is in it 100 times.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's one of the great GMs. He did the Kobe trade. All right, we'll be back. It's very exciting with the stack. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Oakland A's beat the Red Sox at Fenway Park last night 5-2. They scored 3 runs on the top of the third inning and never looked back. This 3-game series between the Sox and the Athletics ends to
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
I guess I should thank the audience for making the show number one again in the ratings. Not that you care, but I suppose if you listen religiously, I should let you know that we do appreciate it. The show has changed a lot over the course of the last year, and you have stuck with us in record numbers, and we appreciate that very much. And I'm not saying that as a self-congratulatory thing. I'm actually thanking the audience. I hope that you take it that way.
And how do you get to number one? More importantly, how do you stay number one? Well, I'll tell you, Wallach, it's not by ignoring the mass golf quarterfinals in your headlines all morning, which is what you've been doing. Matthew Numick currently leads John Broderick. He's 3 up through 10. Matt Parziali, who we all know won the mid-amateur.
I know
the mid-amateur in 2017.
Yeah, I call him Paz.
Yeah, firefighter playing out of Thorny League.
Where's your next door neighbor?
He's 2 up through 9. He lost yesterday to Danny Frody from Dedham Country and Polo Club. Shout out Stephen Daly. He's professional over there. Danny is currently down a hole through 8 to Ricky Stimmitz.
What is
playing
that?
on Worcester Country Club.
Stimmy!
Oh, a Donald Ross classic, Worcester Country Club. But Danny Frody and Siobhan Baumick went into an extra hole. I was there for the last.
Describe the
7 holes
the
of their.
golf
I'm
course.
trying
Describe
to
the extra hole.
Oh goodness!
What is she, an alien?
So they're all square through 18 yesterday. Siobhan made birdie on 17 to square up the match because when I showed up, he started crapping down his shorts and puked all over his FootJoys there on 13. But
Are you going out there again today?
He battled back. He's not going out there today.
No,
he
are
lost.
you going out there again today?
Not today.
Oh,
I'll probably go to. Oh no, I'm playing tomorrow.
Oof.
I might go today.
What a crisis of conscience.
Yeah.
Do you play the
do
game
I
or
play
do
golf
you
or do
watch
I drive
it?
out to Framingham again?
Get yourself Moe's.
Anyway,
that's still there.
Congrats to Danny
not there,
Frody. Made a
so.
great putt on the 19th hole of competition yesterday to advance, but he's currently down a hole through 8. And Ethan Whitney 1 up through 7 against Ryan Downs. Playing out a great horse.
So when you say these people's names on the air, they get a kick out of it?
Very much.
Okay.
Who doesn't? Fred, you like hearing your name on the radio when it's mentioned on other shows. Don't tell me you don't.
Okay, sure.
Don't you?
No, not really.
Oh.
No, I don't like it for the most part. It's usually not very positive.
It's not in a good context.
No, it's probably
problem.
it's if any other show mentions me, it's generally not for my elaborate talent. In fact, if you go through the press of my whole career, if you went and read the press of my whole career, you would think that I was a miserable failure. There's never been a point in my career where people were, "You're doing a really good job." Never, ever.
Things are going well for you.
I've had a morning show in radio, it's ostensibly a morning show. I've been a talk show host in radio since I was 26, 25 years old in a major market. And there's never been a point, ever, where the consensus that I hear is good job. It's always been you suck or some assimilation, no matter how much I'm number one by, no matter what's going on. It's some kind of quasi thing, no matter what people I used to work with, how miserably they fail. It's all just spun in some way that I blow. Sure, but he doesn't go against anyone. Sure, but he's that. Sure, but everything is just it's so anytime my name is mentioned, it's never positive.
Well, a lot of things have not gone well for you, and you do enough of promoting your own self to where other people don't feel the need to do it for you. No one else feels the need to pump your tires.
Nor do I expect them to.
Right.
I'm not asking for my tires to be pumped. I'm not making that statement. I'm not asking for praise. I'm just making the factual statement that if you Googled my name, you would think that my career was a disaster. That I was a failure at this. That's all I'm saying. If you read it, there's more ways to spin that we're number one that are negative towards us that I don't understand. Everybody should be like, wow, that's great. That doesn't often happen. There's a big change where a partnership after 17 years ends, and for a year you maintain this number one rating by a great margin. But that's not interesting. So you could not talk about it at all, or you could just go, hey, the stage is number one. I'm not asking for anything, but just this way of conceptualizing how it's like sucks in like just some way it's terrible.
Look, Fred, things aren't going well for you. I'm sorry. They'll get better. They'll get better.
All I'm saying is that I know it's going on, so I'm trying to just accept it. After
psychological
25 years of it, I think that it's time to just go, I don't care anymore. Just do whatever you want.
I'm going to save
as
you
long
guys.
As the check's clear.
I'm going to save you guys from a couple of things. Number one, I was sucked into this Will Ferrell reveals original scrapped ending of Anchorman. This was on CNN. Other websites do you right for the most part. And that's why I still go on Twitter and Instagram. If I want to see a video, I just want to see it. I went to the CNN page. I watched a 30-second commercial. I then watched a 20-second lead up to the big reveal of what the original and then scrapped ending of Anchorman was. Do you know what it was? What's her name?
Christina Applegate.
Christina Applegate's character gets kidnapped by vigilantes, and Will Ferrell talking about it, who in interviews and off the cuff is oftentimes the least funny person on the planet.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but people really didn't like that, so we changed the ending. Wow. I had to suffer through several minutes of ads and a bad lead up and Will Ferrell talking about it to find out that no, your original ending sucked. You did the right thing by scrapping it.
Anchorman is my second favorite movie of all time, but I've had enough of Ron Burgundy. There's a Ron Burgundy podcast that I got excited for, and it just is not good. And I would like to know how much he's making for doing it.
I would like to know your first favorite movie of all time.
It's obvious. It's not interesting.
Oh, Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
It's not fascinating.
No.
I'm like everyone else.
John Mulaney got married.
I thought he was married to her.
I thought he was married to Olivia Munn. They have a kid together, but
she always has a sour face. Olivia Munn.
Story, isn't it?
It's not your.
It's weird that Mulaney left his wife.
It's not great for Mulaney fans.
Yeah, no, it's not.
There's a
It's
lot.
not. I actually saw him last night. He was on that Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh.
And I only caught like the last
in
30
the
seconds
Kroll.
of it. And I was kind of mad because I would have liked to have watched it to see if he was funny.
Him and
Network
Kroll
TV.
together are fantastic. I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I shared the stage with them, of course.
And you did well.
Yeah,
you held your own up there.
Well,
that's because you're doing a great job, Fred.
Unlike the Chip Chippers.
And if no one's told you that today, I want to be the first to tell you.
If you went
and
through,
I want to tell you that as your colleague of all these years,
Look at you, Mr. Sunshine.
15 years now, I love you and I respect you, Fred.
I love you
and
too.
I know you do a
Coming
great
from
job.
Mark, that's really something.
I know you do a great job.
If you go through Fred's clips, you might come across the review of his Chip Chipperson podcast appearance, which did not go well.
It did not. But how much of that was on me, and how much of that is that Jim and Anthony were on stage together, going back and forth, and
But you just said you were on stage with Mulaney and Nick Kroll and held your own.
It's a little bit of a different audience.
You guys want to hear a great story?
Yeah.
Zoe can't make it in today. He had a flat tire.
So he's not coming to work.
He's not coming. He's not coming to the office today.
Oh, he's gonna be, but
he said he has an old this is how he described it, an old box from football season that he's going to hook up and do the show from home. So how many technical difficulties do you think we'll have here on this program?
7. That's the over-under.
I'll let you guys make fun of him. I'm in no position to. All right, that'll do it. I know when I got to tap out. All right, that'll do